an expert on cryptocurrency. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me give a warm Malaysian welcome to Andreas Antonopoulos.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Salam alaikum. It's a real pleasure to be here. It's my first time in Malaysia. I've now been in Kuala Lumpur for less than 24 hours, and I'm enjoying it a lot, very much so. This is my latest book. It was published in September. It's called The Internet of Money. People often find that this is a difficult topic to understand. Bitcoin is a difficult topic to understand, and I've published 2 books on it. The first book, Mastering Bitcoin, which is over there, is for software developers, engineers, technical people. How many people here are software developers, engineers, technical? Anyone? Okay, so 5 people in this room can read that book. It explains how Bitcoin works, and you can probably read the first 3 chapters before you get into the very technical stuff, and from that point on, it's a bit challenging. It's challenging not because I aim it to be challenging, but because Bitcoin is a complex subject. Now, for everybody who's not a developer, the reason I published that book, The Internet of Money, is this isn't about how it works. This is about why it matters. And it's a collection of 11 of my talks delivered in this format. And it explains the philosophy of money, the implications of Bitcoin on society, and it's a book for everyone. It's the book I gave my mom to read, and she doesn't understand anything about computers or money, so that's a good start. Great. So before I get started, I'd like to get a feel for the people in the audience and get a bit of an understanding of how many people are familiar with these technologies that we're going to be discussing today. So by show of hands, let's start with the narrowest, which is how many people here own Bitcoin? Okay, someone did a good turnout for the community. Hi, thank you for coming. Hi, thank you for coming. How many people have seen or conducted a transaction in Bitcoin but don't own any, have just experienced it? Okay, just a few. Very good. And how many people have never conducted a transaction, have no idea what Bitcoin is or how it works, and are new to this topic? Great. Now, that was about maybe 30 people, I would say. Now, for those of you who are new to this topic, what I'd like to suggest is that whether you understand or not what we're discussing today, and please ask your questions. I want to hear even the most basic questions about Bitcoin, because I believe those are the most powerful questions. After we're done with the presentation, after we're done with the Q&A, I would like to see as many of the people in the audience who have never experienced Bitcoin to either install a Bitcoin wallet on your mobile device, and someone in the audience will give you for free some Bitcoin. Not a whole Bitcoin, a fraction of a Bitcoin, just so you can see how a transaction works. And then you can turn to your friend who just started and exchange Bitcoin with them so you can experiment with this. I can assure you it's entirely legal. It's very easy to do. And it will allow you to really experience this technology, which is much easier experience than it is explained. So let's try the next question. How many people in this audience who have Bitcoin on their mobile devices, are willing to help people install a wallet and give them $1 or $2? I will. Look around, the new people, look around at who's raised their hands. Find these people after the Q&A. Ask them to give you a small amount of Bitcoin and help you set up a wallet. Don't be shy. I will be happy to do it myself. All right. With that, let's get started with Bitcoin basics. in October of 2008, on an obscure, anonymous mailing list called the Cypherpunk mailing list, an anonymous participant using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto announced the publication of a paper and said, "I think I have solved a problem in computer science. I have found a way to create a system of electronic cash that is direct between people, peer-to-peer, as we use the term in computer science. In this system of electronic cash, I've written a white paper and I have implemented it in software." And on that day, Satoshi Nakamoto published the white paper. You can download it online. It's available at bitcoin.org. You can do a search for it, the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper or the Bitcoin white paper. And in 9 pages, Satoshi Nakamoto described in detail and in ways that predicted many of the things that happened over the next 7 years, what Bitcoin was and what Bitcoin could become and how it would work. But he didn't stop there, or she didn't stop there, or they didn't stop there, because we don't know if Satoshi Nakamoto is a man, a woman, or a group of people, or an alien being from the future. Okay, probably not that last one. Satoshi Nakamoto then published software and invited people to participate in running a network. And this gives you the first hint as to how Bitcoin works. Bitcoin is software. Bitcoin is an application, among other things. You download this application, you run it on your computer. You can run it on a laptop, you can run it on a desktop, preferably on a computer that's permanently connected to the internet. It uses quite a bit of RAM and disk space right now, but in those days it was very lightweight. And if you run this program, it reaches out on the internet and it finds other people running this program. You don't know who these people are. It doesn't reach out to specific people. It creates a random mesh network, what we call a peer-to-peer network, where every participant in the system is equal. There's no special computer. They're all just talking to each other. It creates what in network terms we would call a crowd. So randomly reaches out and connects to various other computers running the Bitcoin software. And together they create a network. And that network is used to exchange and propagate transactions. And these transactions are encoded in a digital format. They contain information about the transfer of value and the authorization to transfer value between participants. Nobody controls this network. And this is a critical concept. Nobody controls this network. You can be running one of these computers. You do not control this network. You run one of these applications. It connects to other people. And you run another one of these applications. And it talks Bitcoin to the other computers that are talking Bitcoin. But no one is in control. No one is in charge. Just like when you're running a computer that speaks on the internet and communicates with other computers on the internet, no one is in control. If you interact directly between these systems. That network started on January 3rd, 2009. And on that day, the world changed. For the first time in the history of money, in the history of trust, in the history of institutions, in the history of humanity, A system that is completely independent of authority, is completely independent of institutions. A system that develops trust as the result of collaboration, communication, and computation through cryptography was born. This system allows people to exchange value, to transmit money. And this money is called Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the application. It's the software that you run on your computer that communicates with all of the other computers running the Bitcoin software. Bitcoin is the name of the network that runs the Bitcoin network, which is the collection of all of these computers. Some 6,500 of them around the world, anywhere there is internet, are the ones we know that advertise their presence, several thousand more that don't, and tens of thousands that simply listen onto this network without actively participating. The Bitcoin network. And all of this is an infrastructure that is used to create and transmit value in the form of transactions expressed in a new currency, the Bitcoin currency. And the Bitcoin currency is unlike any other form of money we have ever seen before. First of all, as a form of money, it does not exist in physical form. It is the culmination of a trajectory we've seen in human history. Over thousands of years, money has become a more abstract form of value. You start with very, very tangible forms of value. Commodities. A goat. A banana. A pineapple. These are very poor forms of money because you can eat them and they rot or die and they can be lost. They're not very good forms of money because they are the thing of value. We went from that to gold, precious metals, and stamped coins. These are better forms of money because you cannot eat them. They do not die or rot. They do not represent the value itself. They are not the value. And this is an interesting concept. Money is not the valuable thing itself. Money is the thing you exchange for the valuable thing itself. The reason bananas are not good money is because bananas are the value you're trying to get. Money is the thing you exchange for bananas that has no value in itself. It is simply a symbol, an abstraction. It represents something that can be carried that I can give to someone tomorrow, and they will probably give me bananas. That future promise of value is the essence of money. So the essence of money is the ability to have an abstract token that in itself is immutable, unforgeable, eternal, maintains its value, and represents the exchange of value in the future as a promise. And over time, these things have become less and less physical and more abstract. Why? Because people don't like changing. And if you tell someone, I'm not going to give you bananas for the work you did, I'm going to give you a shiny gold coin, but don't worry, you can use this to get bananas, they look at you and they say, I've always had bananas for my work. I think I would like to have bananas, not this yellow thing. 100 years later, they now believe the yellow thing is valuable. And then you tell them, now I'm going to give you a piece of paper instead of the yellow thing, but don't worry, you can still convert this into bananas. And most people say, I don't think that's real money. I want the yellow thing. And the world moves on. And eventually we change and we say, you know what? You won't get the piece of paper either. you won't get the coin. You will go and look at numbers on a page or on a web page, and that represents the amount you have in the bank. But don't worry, you can still use that to acquire food, products, services. It really is money. You can't touch it, you can't see it, it's just a number. And finally, we arrive at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no physical form. It doesn't exist in any way. It is entirely intangible. It cannot be touched. It is simply a digital form of money. But it is a digital form of money that is entirely different from everything we've seen before. What it does that is different is that it is not a form of money that is recorded in the database or records of a company. It is not a digital form of money that represents a debt owed to a central bank or government. It is not a digital form of money that has been issued by a sovereign, a central bank, a nation, a king. It is a form of digital money that has been issued through complex and energy-intensive computation on the internet, is recorded simultaneously on every computer that participates in the Bitcoin network, is validated independently by every computer that participates in the Bitcoin network, cannot be forged, cannot be counterfeited, cannot be censored, cannot be seized or frozen, can be transmitted anywhere in the world as information, can be verified independently by anyone who receives it, and is not controlled by anyone. Its value is not controlled, its issuance is not controlled, its ownership is not controlled. It is direct from one person to another person with no intermediaries. If I use my mobile phone to make a Bitcoin payment to someone in this room, I am creating a digital transaction that recognizes the fact that a certain number of Bitcoin that the network knows belongs to me through the proof of my digital signature. I have authorized the transfer of that value to another owner of Bitcoin who will then be able to control that Bitcoin through their own digital signature, through their own cryptographic key. Now, you don't need to know anything about digital signatures or cryptographic keys. When you use Bitcoin, you see an application on your mobile device or on your desktop. This application tells you you have 3 Bitcoin. It allows you to enter the address of a recipient, which is a number, just like an email address. It allows you to select an amount of Bitcoin you wish to transact. And when you click send on your application, it uses the digital signature and private key that is embedded in your device to create and sign a transaction that is advertised to the entire Bitcoin network and says, I have transferred this value. And then the entire network now knows that this value belongs to someone else. They don't know who this someone else is. Nobody knows. When you do a Bitcoin transaction, it is not related or attached to identity. You do not need to create an account. You do not need to register. You do not need to provide ID or name or location or address, age, gender, race, religion, nationality, nothing. You don't even need to be human. And you laugh, but it is true. Bitcoin enables, for the first time in human history, non-human entities to actively control and own value, which is bizarre because we've never had that in any legal system in the world. We have the legal fiction of corporations, and corporations can own value, but corporations can only exist as associations between living human beings. In Bitcoin, a software agent that is not owned by anyone, through the use of cryptography, can own and transact in Bitcoin internationally. This creates some very interesting and also very disturbing possibilities for the future. Artificial intelligence systems can own and control money without any living human being involved. You can have corporations that have no directors, no living humans in control, that are controlled entirely by software. Back to people, though. If you are a person who has installed a Bitcoin wallet, you must pass a complex test in order to install this software. You must be able to download an application. That's it. Now, if you happen to own an iPhone, you must remember your iTunes password in order to install an application. And so far, I have found that this is the most difficult part of becoming part of the global economy of Bitcoin, is remembering your iTunes password. But if you can do that, if you can access the Google Play Store, if you have basic familiarity with mobile applications, if you can download an exe on Windows and install it, if you can double-click a mouse, that's it. You don't have to provide your name, your email address. You don't register or create an account. You don't have to prove who you are, where you are, or show that you are worthy. You do not have to have a credit score. You do not have to be authorized. This is something that is entirely different from every system of money we've ever had before. Now, for the internet generation, this is a very familiar concept. When you open a browser and you start using the web, do you have to register or get a license to use the web? Do you have to create an account to visit Wikipedia? No. The only requirement is that you are able to download, install, and operate a web browser. There was a time when the idea of allowing every human to be able to communicate without borders or censorship on the World Wide Web was terrifying to people. To some people, it still is terrifying. Most of the younger generation find it liberating in a global sense. Bitcoin does that to money. What happens when every human being on the planet, through the simple act of downloading and installing an application, can become a member of a global economy without borders, one that allows people to transmit and receive money at will, anywhere in the world, 24 hours a day, uninterrupted for the last 7 years, with fees that do not depend on the amount of money you're sending, but pay simply for the capacity you use on the network. You can transmit a Bitcoin transaction for about $1. And it doesn't matter if you send $1 or $100,000, you still pay $1. It doesn't matter if you're sending it from here to another province in Malaysia, or if you're sending it from here to the opposite end of the planet. It doesn't matter if you are an individual or corporation, or if you're sending it to an individual or corporation. It doesn't matter if you're sending it to someone who is rich or someone who is poor. You can. Bitcoin changes the way we approach finance completely. But that's just the first layer. Because the technology that makes Bitcoin possible, that allows two people from opposite ends of the planet to securely transact with each other without knowing each other and without trusting each other, opens up an entire range of applications that we haven't yet imagined. Bitcoin is not just money for the internet. Bitcoin is a platform. The technology that Bitcoin uses, a combination of the blockchain, which is the global transaction ledger that records every transaction, the decentralized consensus mechanism called proof of work that allows security on the Bitcoin blockchain, the open system of access that allows anyone to participate without barriers, and its borderless and neutral nature that make it possible for anyone to participate regardless of who they are, where the only thing that matters is whether a transaction is valid, not who is the source or destination, not what is the amount. These fundamental building blocks that make Bitcoin possible open the door to dozens and then hundreds and then thousands of applications of trust. At its core, Bitcoin represents the replacement of trust through institutions to trust through networks. For centuries, human society has been based on the fact that in order to coordinate the activity between large numbers of people, we have to have something to trust. And until now, the best answer to that problem was institutions. Collections of people governed by rules and policies with oversight, transparency, and accountability built into the rules, run by humans in order to create centers of trust through tradition, through reputation, through longevity. Institutions of trust are failing. They're failing all over the world. They're failing when they are newspapers. They are failing in political institutions. They are failing in numbers of ways. And the reason they are failing is because they represent systems of scale for industrial societies. And we are no longer industrial nation-state societies. We are now information societies of global scale that collaborate across borders at massive scale. We are now solving problems that affect not 30 million people in one country, but 7.5 billion people on one planet. And for problems of that scale and collaboration of that scale, traditional institutions do not work. They fail to scale. They're not evil. They're not deliberately corrupt. They simply fail to solve the problems of a global society. And yet, during that very time that we see these institutions failing, we have seen the emergence of new systems of governance, of new systems of global collaboration, systems that do allow us to collaborate, communicate, and solve problems at scale. And the first of those systems was the internet. And with that, we see the first system of communication that transcends nations, that transcends borders, that allows anyone everywhere and anywhere to communicate. Bitcoin represents that happening to money. It represents a network-centric system of money that is beyond the nation state. A network-centric system of money that scales and allows people to collaborate on a global basis, that allows anyone everywhere and anywhere to participate in a global economy without barriers, without borders, without ID, without credentials, simply through the act of running software. And that will change the world. Thank you.
going to look at the charts today, a little bit of Cardano news, just an update. So I'm planning to make this one a quick one. If you like the sound of that, hit me in the subscribe down below right here, bell notification icon, like the video up. Let's get it to 1,500 likes today. You know the drill. Let's dive into it. Market cap today is 1.4 trillion. Bitcoin 888, love that price, 888 billion. Ethereum 173 billion, Cardano 40 billion. We've taken out Binance now. Binance is on the decline. Cardano is on the increase. We've been talking about that all week on the channel when it comes to Cardano. That's why I was looking at Cardano as a better option than Binance. Binance has had its peak. Now it's Cardano's turn. So remember that when Cardano does peak even harder than it is doing right now. We don't know for sure. No one knows for sure whether this will be the final peak for a little while, or do we have a lot more in the tank? A lot of us believe there's a lot more in the tank in the short term. But may I remind you, on the 1st of March, the hard fork is happening, the merry hard fork. Usually, like we've seen in the past with almost every other cryptocurrency, when a hard fork happens, we get all of the buying pressure run up into the news, then the selling pressure comes after the news. Maybe it happens a day before because everyone's anticipating it. Maybe it happens a day afterwards because there's still so much excitement in the coin. Give it a couple of days either side. So this is where we need to be on high alert because there is a lot of emotion coming in. There's big news and the price is increasing. So there's a lot of stuff coming together at one time which could really skyrocket the price. But then we've got to be on the lookout for a dump, which is why I talked about an exit plan. Looking further down the list, Binance, Polkadot, Ripple still not showing its head, and Litecoin and Chainlink, which I'll do another video on today. So stick around for that on the channel, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's have a look at the Fear and Greed Index like we always do. Fear and Greed 56, we are starting to cool off a little bit. So this is great news that we can still see Cardano heading up during this period of the market cooling off. Last week we were nuts, 91 on the greed. Previous to this, last month, obviously we had that little bit of a dump last month on Bitcoin, which took the rest of the market with it, 55. So we've seen this level before and we've seen ourselves recover from it. This is the reminder, merry hard fork. It's still trending, it's still significant. There's a lot going on here. And if you want, check this one out, coinmarketcal.com, coins with potential. Now I've done no research on these coins, but here is one option to start investigating other coins which may or may not have a pump at some point in the future. I don't know, but surely there are other people looking at that. And if we can find other coins which have a lot of votes, a lot of significance, they're hot, maybe we can find a pump out of those. So why is Cardano pumping? There's an article here on Decrypt. 2 reasons they've listed, which we both already know. Hard fork is coming up. And the second one, maybe we don't know. There was a buy. There was a fund which has sold $750 million worth of Bitcoin to buy Cardano and Polkadot. You know, we've been talking about Polkadot as well on the channel. Just yesterday and the video the day before, we're looking at Cardano and Polkadot as hedges against Ethereum. And so far, Cardano has done very, very well. Polkadot has had its turn as well. Maybe we're going to see some more Polkadot later on in this crypto bull market. So this is what we're talking about here. Dubai investment firm sold $750 million in Bitcoin so it could buy ADA and Polkadot. So just keep that in mind. We haven't seen the pump on Polkadot, which is why maybe this news isn't so relevant for Cardano. Either way, it's a pretty big bag to be buying. Cardano, ADA, Polkadot, DOT. Let's take a look at couple more things here. I don't think I've mentioned this one on the channel before. There is altcoin season, blockchaincenter.net. Now I found this on Twitter. I don't think it has very much relevance at all. So if you do see it yourself, maybe just kick it to the side. I thought I'd bring it up because it sounds like a fantastic metric that you can just come here, have a look to see whether we are in altcoin season or not. But just a quick look at this. I think it is a little bit of a lagging indicator, very much a lagging indicator. And we can see that just by looking at January 2018, by the time the coins had peaked, the market was just about over. Alt season was just about over. Alt season started late December. You know, Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin hits its top in 2017 on the 17th or 18th of December. Then the altcoins start to pump. And by this stage, once we've reached this season, we're already 2 weeks into it. So you've missed the massive gains. So just keep that in mind. It's a fun little chart to look at. You can have a look at altcoin season. Basically, if the coins in the top 50 are exceeding Bitcoin, 75% of them are greater than Bitcoin's gain in that period. So for season, it's 90 days. For month, it's 30 days. And for alt year, it's the last 365 days. If they've exceeded Bitcoin's growth, then they come over to this side, and that makes up the 75%. So far in the altcoin month, we have 75% of coins doing better than Bitcoin, which is why they're calling it an altcoin month. But we can all see that a lot of these coins have pumped already in this month, which is what puts them into the top 75%. With that said, let's have a look at the charts. ADA, Cardano, let's update this. We're on the weekly. This was the breakout we looked at. It's beautiful. It's perfect. It broke a resistance level. It was a nice setup after a good solid pump on high volume. Top that we're looking at here is around $1.40. And should we break through that, fantastic. Let's see if we can get a nice slice through that like we did with Bitcoin, and it just kept going. Two things I will note on this though is with Bitcoin and Ethereum so far, which are two of the major cryptocurrencies that have broken through their all-time highs, they first came back and hit it, and there was some resistance for a period of time. Remember Bitcoin back here. We just take the chart and we look just here. There was about 1, 2, 3, 4 or so weeks before we took off. So if you want to see that in a little more detail, it's a long time ago now when you see it. This is the $20,000 level. There's 1 week, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th week, Bitcoin broke through. Let's have a look at Ethereum. This is on the dollar chart. Ethereum at the approximate 1420 level. Ethereum 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th week, it really got going above that level. So we did touch it. We did break out of the top a little bit, just like Bitcoin did. And then it wasn't until the 5th week that it was a little more confirming. You know, we got that move well above it, a nice solid close above that high. Maybe we'll see something like that in Cardano as well. No one knows. I don't know. But it's happened already on 2 of the major cryptocurrencies. The timing seems like it would set up quite nicely for Cardano to do that. Maybe we do get a little pump above it leading into the hard fork. Maybe we just slice straight through and go to $3 already. Who knows? But I'm just looking at history. I'm looking at what's happening in the market at the moment, what the general feel is that's happened in crypto throughout this this bull market, and just understanding that that could be a possibility. So if we come up to it, maybe this is the first week that we hit close to this top. You know, we've just come up at $1.33, so we're only about 7 cents away from the all-time high. So if we take another few weeks from this point, measure it out, this is, let's call this the first week that we're in now. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks leads us into around the 15th of March, which would be a perfect time for a low in Bitcoin, which marries up very nicely with a 1-year anniversary from last year. March is known in markets to have lows, whether it's a major low, a minor low, it's a good time for a low. So we're expecting that. Then the following week after that would be our 5th, 6th week that we can break through the top. That leads us into around the 22nd of March. So the week beginning the 22nd of March could be a nice decisive break. This is just a possibility that I want to be prepared for, just in case we don't get the break that we're expecting here, where it just moons. If you have seen on many other channels, it's pretty much across YouTube to talk about Cardano. Everyone is talking about Cardano, that Cardano has to go to $5, $10, I don't know, some people calling it $100. Who the hell knows? It's ridiculous. So there is a lot of interest in this market, and there's a lot of new money. Maybe you're just new to cryptocurrency and you're seeing this for the first time. You're seeing Cardano everywhere and it sounds like a great idea because it's already moved up, so it feels safe. It's a coin that's moving. Ideally, we want to be in the markets at these levels. These are the times when no one's talking about it. You probably never heard of cryptocurrency back in May, June, July of last year, but these were the safest times to be buying when no one else is buying, because then you get the massive gains. Right now, those guys are sitting on 1,600%. People who bought in March are sitting on close to 2,000, 6,000%. It's crazy. The amount that people could gain from this is very, very high. So be aware of that. If you're only looking for a double from here, 100%, just remember that there are people that bought in April and are now sitting on 4,000, 5,000, 6,000% returns in a dollar value. So big money for a lot of people. They could have a lot of Cardano for a few cents. Now it's worth $1 something. So Cardano exit plans. Let's keep an eye on the swings like we always do. Daily chart. We are accumulating above the levels. We don't want to see it break down because that would be a very strong sign of time might be up for Cardano for a period of time, comes back and resets. Personally, I think we've got a little more to go in this tank before we see something like that happen, but it's on my radar. Like, it's something that will happen eventually. And if we want to stack even more Cardano because we don't have enough of it now, we don't feel like we have enough of it, or we don't have enough money coming in to buy more of it, then these would be the opportunities to look for. We want to look for spikes in price. We want to look for it to be mass hysteria, super greed, super FOMO. Then start to create that plan to scale out of some of the positions so that you have some funds available later. No one's ever going to catch the exact top and buy the exact bottom in that same move. So don't worry about it. Just take a nice chunk so you got some money left over and hit it again. Go for it again. Don't get married to these things. Hit it and quit it. Cardano looking strong. Ethereum against Cardano against Ethereum, amazing. It's what we've been waiting for. We've been looking at the swings. It's been incredible. Cardano versus Binance, exactly what we were waiting for back through this area. This was looking like a nice setup, but Binance had had its time. Cardano was looking like it was a good move in. So some of those gains could have been rotated from Binance into Cardano if you happen to get onto Binance. So this is stuff that we also talk about. Stick around till the end of the video because I'll leave a link to this video that I talked about. Cardano, Polkadot, Ethereum, Binance, comparing all four of those specifically in that area, and that's a good video to refer back to moving forward so that you can see how we compare different cryptos against other cryptos. That's the update for Cardano. Congratulations if you are holding a nice strong bag of great gains. Try to get some profits out of it. Of course, I'm not giving you financial advice. I just hope that you can get some gains and continue to rotate those gains into other cryptos, other assets beyond cryptocurrency so that you can build your retirement fund, you can build your financial freedom and do the things in life that you love to do. I'll leave that video there. I've got another one coming out today, so stick around for that. Check out the videos from yesterday. Like the video up if you haven't already and you found value from this video. Down below, 1,500 likes. Can we get there? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you over on Instagram for updates, daily Q&As, and updates of my retirement fund, crypto retirement fund. And if you want to know more about trading, I've got a link to the Investors Accelerator membership down below. 15% off at the moment, $120 off the course. Get the link down below. See you over there in the group. Until next time, have more fun to get more done. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to dive into NFT cryptos, some hidden gems, some low cap hidden gems, some DeFi cryptos, and some of the majors which are going off or set to potentially go off. Looking at Polkadot, Kusama, all the big ones which are making headlines. So we want to look at them in the charts to make sure that we are not buying the extreme greed. All right, so that's what we always do in the charts on the channel. If you enjoy it, let me know. Hit that like button down below. It goes a long way to helping out the channel, and let's see if we can get it to 3,000 likes on the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. Make sure you've hit that bell notification icon. Let's dive in to the first chart. We want to look at altcoin season. We want to understand where are we at. I'm looking at BTC.D, so this is the Bitcoin dominance chart, something we've been looking at since early January, at least for this double top. So it's something we come back to often because it just shows us how much is in Bitcoin compared to the rest of the market. So how much is Bitcoin dominating the rest of the market? What we want to see is Bitcoin going on these falls. It doesn't have to be fast. It can be slow, but as long as Bitcoin is falling, generally the altcoins starting to move. And what we're seeing here is a descending triangle. That's a bearish pattern. You can just see the highs are getting lower and lower and lower. Very easy to see with the naked eye. You don't need to be a specialist trader to see that. And then the lows are just hovering at the same price. So eventually the probability stands that this low should get taken out, and that low is sitting around 60. So it's about 60% Bitcoin dominance. What I'm looking for here, using our fibs, so we know what we're doing here, it's a double top. When you use these fib extension tools, what we look for is around 125% to 150% at least. Gann used to use 200%. So eventually I think we'll get to that 200%, 40 meaning the 42% dominance for Bitcoin, but the 2 here means 200% of this range. So essentially it measures it from this point to this point and projects it from this point here. So 100% of the range brings us to 57, call it 58%. 200% brings us down to 42%. Eventually, I do think Bitcoin will get there. Ethereum is probably going to push it down that far, especially with a lot of the other top 10 cryptos as well. So that's what we're looking for a decent altcoin season. It's happened before. That was 2017. Bitcoin dominance just fell out of the sky. It came from the 90-something percent all the way down to 30-something percent. It only managed to make it to 70% this time, and I think we'll probably go on some sort of fall again. Somewhere into the 40s at this point, could go a hell of a lot further and take out this low as well. We just got to wait and see. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. What we're looking at so far is this little bearish pattern at the moment, and this could spur on the continued altcoin seasons. Following on from Bitcoin dominance, we're going to go check out these projects here. In DeFi, I've got Reef, 1inch, NFTs, Shroom, TVK, GSwap, NFTs on smart contracts because the hype and the narrative looks like it's shifting across to things like Polkadot and Kusama. So we're going to check those out as well. Here are the market caps. These are our super small hidden DeFi NFT gems. GSwap 25, I have talked about that on a previous video, which the Daily Hodl did an article on my video for their website. So 25 mil and Shroom at 61 mil. Of course, these are massive, so they're not the small hidden stuff. It's this NFT stuff here that we're going to have a look at. TVK is the one that I talk about the most on the channel. These are the exchanges that you can find them on. SwiftX and CoinSpot just for the Aussies. Uniswap, Binance for everyone. Aussies, international, anyone can get onto these, and you're going to have to get those to get any of the small DeFi or NFT projects. They're not going to be on these major Aussie exchanges. So Reef is our first one. What I'm looking at is a confirmation break, high volume, strong close, built on Polkadot. It's got that narrative going on. Shady supply adjustments, which we've looked at. So we've talked about that before. The contracts, they've minted extra, if I can find that here, 4.7 billion. It changes their supply on CoinMarketCap as well. So just scroll down. So 20 billion max supply now. I believe these have changed. This was the problem that was going on in February when they were minting new tokens and then going to sell it or get an investment from Alameda. And then that didn't go through. So now they have these 4.7 billion tokens, and it looks like they continue to keep minting more tokens. It's a fresh new team. We can give them the benefit of the doubt, or we can just scrap them. That's your choice. You have to do your research and decide which one feels right for you. In terms of the chart, I still like it. All right, so there's some potentially shady stuff going on. If anyone from the team is watching this, or anyone knows someone from the team and they want to send this to them, I'll be more than happy to sit down and do an AMA with them on the channel to understand more about Reef. But for now, all we have to work from is charts. And like I said, this is the one. This is what I'm looking at here. This is high volume. If I can get that so you can see it. There's the high volume here. We've broken through these highs, broken through these highs, and closed above these highs. So these highs are sitting at, if I give you a dollar figure, just above the point, so the 4.4 cents thereabouts, so 4.3 cents there above, and it's starting to hold its ground. So there are some good signs so far. The lows have continued to get higher, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows on the way up, even though we had that scare from Alameda. So it's holding its ground considering the news that's come out from it. So Reef is still on there. Whether I want to load up more, not at this stage. I'm still not sure about them, but I still have a smaller position than I did before. Reef Bitcoin also holding its ground. You can see these levels at around 60 Satoshis. That looks good. Again, the same deal. High volume, break of these highs, nice close. So if I zoom in just to show you that a bit closer, that was the 29th of March. That bar there is a potential confirmation. So far, it's got the volume the high close. We've already said that, and it's broken past its 50% level, which is pretty strong going as well. That's one confirmation. You generally want to see more than one, but it has a lot going for it. So I'm happy with that as a look at my trade going in the direction I want it to go in, which is up. So that's Reef. That's our DeFi project. 500 million because they've minted so many more tokens and the supply is out there, so it's just shot that price up. They haven't dumped them onto the market, so that hasn't suppressed the price. So that's a bit of a tricky one as well, but the chart looks okay, provided the team that is in control of those tokens just don't go and dump them on the market. Things are looking good. All right, 1 inch accumulation, no confirmation yet, so these are not buy signals, but accumulation is a great place to be dollar cost averaging in. So I've got some other videos coming up on the channel today. I'll have another one just on news, and then I want to do a video on mistakes. So biggest cryptocurrency mistakes. So if you like the sound of that, let me know. Hit me in the subscribes and join us for that. So 1 inch right at the top, and I'm going to talk about dollar cost averaging in that video, which is why I brought it up. So accumulation, I've got this zone here. This is where I was looking at an entry, because we've got the swing out, high volume, broke above, and then it came back down, but it didn't break through my stop level. And I generally like to have about 25 to 35%. And so my stop is sitting underneath these swing lows, and it keeps me within my area. Like if it's less than 25%, great. But more than 35%, it starts to, I just sort of let the trade run a little bit until I get some more confirmation. So this is sitting well. It's moved back up above the lows. It's had higher volume than the last week or so, higher close. You can see the close there. It's still sitting nice and comfortably, and I'm basically at break even on this particular trade. It's bounced off the 50% level, which is fantastic. Next thing is we want to see it accumulate above $4.20, because this, if it breaks down from that $4.20, then it's probably going to test the 50% level again, which is around the $3.50. And ideally, that's not a good sign. If it keeps coming back down to test that, it just turns into a descending triangle, and that can break down. But for now, 1 inch is looking pretty good. Project is very good also. DeFi, 2 projects that I like. NFTs, big stuff. Let's do TVK first, because we've talked about it before. TVK, we're going to look at it USD and a quick look at the Bitcoin chart as well, because we want to make sure that we're increasing our Bitcoin position. People often ask, why do you refer to it in Bitcoin value? Why do you refer to altcoins in Bitcoin value? Because at the end of the day, you want to reduce your risk, and if you're buying small cap cryptocurrencies, you have extremely high risk. So if they're not outperforming Bitcoin, then you're better off holding Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a lower risk. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know your thoughts, or if you don't understand that, I might have to do a separate video on it altogether, but it's really just that simple. So right now, TVK is holding its ground against its Bitcoin value. So if Bitcoin goes up, TVK may stay at the same price in its US dollar value, because it may go down in its Bitcoin value. So if Bitcoin drops, TVK's USD value can still increase if Bitcoin is also increasing. You like my hand signs there? That's how it works. So TVK, Bitcoin is holding steady. If TVK BTC holds steady, or any cryptocurrency holds steady against its Bitcoin value, and Bitcoin goes up, that means its dollar value is going to go up. So TVK USD would go up. You would retain the same amount of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going up. You're getting more dollars, because now you're exposed to Bitcoin and to the US dollar. Okay, so looking good here. Accumulation zone, my purple box is sitting there. TVK BUSD, if I don't have, I'll move this. If you haven't got a full position yet, this is an accumulation area that I personally like, because it's within my zone above these old highs, and it hasn't broken out just yet. So looking steady, 80 cents. We've had a low of 62 cents with the highs at around 90. So somewhere between that 60 and 90 cents accumulation so far. Big volume, break through these tops, coming back on lowering volume and testing these highs again. I don't think it's going to last. I think we'll probably end up seeing it fall back to the 60s or 70 cents as it needs to come back and test this again. We break through that, great. My position's set. I'm ready to go. If not, time to buy more, sell off some other cryptos, get some USDT, buy up some more TVK. TVK looks good. You can get that everywhere. SwiftX, CoinSpot, Binance, you can get a link to those in the description down below. Get your $10 of free Bitcoin and on CoinSpot and SwiftX, or save yourself 10% in trading fees on Binance using that link down below. Shroom is our next crypto. It is setting up very nicely. So what I've got here is a breakout trade. It's a sushi hard fork, low cap. It's anonymous, so there's some risk here, high risk. The team is anonymous. They want to remain anonymous because they're working on other projects. You can find all of this information on CoinMarketCap. 80% of the tokens are released, which is a nice sign. So there's not a lot being held by the team. And then it's an NFT DEX. So it encompasses the DeFi and the NFT all in one space. So you can find this only on Uniswap at the moment. There's a couple of other exchanges, but nothing that I would run out to use. So Shroom is right here, $1.22. Look at this. Our chart is heading up. It's moving up against Bitcoin. It's moving up against US dollar value. Shroom. Fully diluted is 77.7 million. Good sign. And now we've hit 60.9 million. So these are all pretty good numbers. Still low market cap. All the details found on this page, so you can find all of that we just talked about. Uniswap, Bilaxi, Bit4X. As I said, Uniswap is where I'm at. And for Shroom, the only chart we got here on our trading view, which you can also get a link to in the description if you want to use this, is wrapped ETH Shroom. So this is a little bit harder to get a read on, but essentially your Shroom is going up in value because the ETH is going down. All right, so 1 ETH used to be able to buy 15,000 Shroom, and now 1 ETH only buys about 1,500 Shroom, which makes sense. ETH is about $1,700 US. Shroom's about $1.20, so 1 ETH is going to buy about 1,500 Shroom. And this pattern looks like is about to get destroyed. It's just about to drop out of nowhere and just fall from here. Another little trick you can do here is use the cog icon in the bottom right, invert scale, and that'll give you the Shroom price against Ethereum, but you've flipped it. All right, so now you can see the patterns in a bullish sense. So this is bullish for Shroom and still bearish for Ethereum. So it just gives you that other view on the market. And you can see the numbers are all in reverse as well, but it's just so you can check patterns on the flip side. Next on our list is GSwap. Now I have to mention, you guys know I have TVK, 1inch, Reef. I don't have any Shroom or GSwap yet. I got to get onto Uniswap to get them. I like the look of them. I'm not going to buy everything, but I think I'm going to play my bets on the smaller cap here on $25 million GSwap. NFT, DeFi marketplace for in-game items. This is the market cap. It's just sitting steady. Price, it's had us break from its low of 50 cents, now currently sitting around $2.70, $2.80, $3. But on the chart, you can only see it at $2.70 was the last closing price. And fully diluted, 56 million, market cap 24 million. So just a bit under 50% of the tokens are on the market, and Uniswap is where it's at. Now here is GameSwap against the wrapped ETH to get a price on it, get our chart going. We've seen it come back to the old top that it had just in November 2020. Now GSwap is on the move up, 24 million market cap. Remember, these are very low market caps. You could see your portfolio swing 50%, 70% before you get that 10, 20, 100x. So if you're not ready for that, these are not ready for you. Well, you're not ready for these. So just keep that in mind. We can see this. We've got some higher lows, higher highs. It's looking ready. It's looking like it's setting up. Here's the top. We want to break through those levels, and obviously we want to get further beyond the 0.002 level. That is the confirmation for me. So I'm going to use an alert up there. If I miss out on where we are here to that area, that's only 15%. So I could set some alerts, which is what I got here. That's what the little orange triangles are. Set the alerts as they break these highs. That's a good entry point. So it's only 20% from where we are now. Reason being is it could easily just dump 30, 50% from this point. I don't think it's going to happen just yet. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to go north, especially if we've got that altcoin season coming up. So this, I am considering putting a smaller position on to something like GameSwap. Obviously, there are fees on Uniswap, so if the fees outweigh any sort of gain that you can make on here, then there's just no point. But this is the small cap hidden NFT gems that everyone is looking for. They're on Uniswap. NFT smart contracts. Let's have a look at the pricing for DOT and KSM. DOT is setting up pretty nicely. We had a dump to $27, around that level, 28, 27. Now we're starting to make our way north again. The volume is decreasing, so it's not just there yet. So what I want to see is the market to hold its ground at least at 31 to 33. So that's the level there. That's the swing low here that I'm looking at. It's not a technical swing low, but you can see the market tried to test 31 and it's moved away from it. So that's why I've got 31 at that level, and then 33 would be a much better level for it to be able to hold and then start to move its way north again. We looked at this when we were reviewing timeframes. And so I've got a bit of a time frame out here between 50 and 70 days from the top, which leads us very much into August, and that could be a time frame that we can look for DOT to then cross its highs, potentially even its all-time high. So DOT is looking like it is also setting up, especially with that narrative coming across that there are more NFTs coming to DOT, and Ethereum also looking pretty strong. So this whole smart contract space is going to get a little bit of a run on for this next part of the altcoin season. I'm not sure whether it's going to be as big as what we saw here, that 10x. I don't think it can. This means DOT would have to go to 300 billion, seeing as that it's 31 billion now. I can't see that happening considering Ethereum's only 200 billion at the moment. Last one I've got on the list is KSM, and that is Kusama. So Kusama USDT. This is really high at the moment. This is what everyone is talking about. I wanted to bring it up on the channel today because of how much it has moved. It is extremely high. It can go much higher, but the risk is the downside to the potential smaller upside. Now, the market cap is 4.5 billion. Could it go into the top 10 and get to around 10 or 15 billion? Sure, but you're only tripling your money, only, I say. And that's not guaranteed either. So I'm using my swings here, and percentage gain from where we are now at $544 up to around this 200%. That gives me 66% gain. If I go to my 300% of a $1,400 KSM, it sounds incredible. It's 150%. So it's potential. I'm not saying it's going to go there, but these are the targets that I would have in mind as the market continues to move up. Now, I think it will break out of this logarithmic resistance. This is a pretty strong log resistance, and if it does break through, that will send it to the moon. That will send it really, really skyrocketing. Which price will it hit? Anyone's guess at this point. If it gets into that top 10, makes it around, say, 13 or so billion, that's going to bring us up 200%. So 200% from where we are now is about a $1,600 KSM. Quite possible. That brings it into the top 10. 200%, if that's worth the risk to you, why not? KSM looks like a pretty decent run on at the moment, especially with all the hype around it, the NFT space, Polkadot doing its thing. It looks really, really good. So that's what I wanted to bring to you guys today. That they are my DeFi, NFTs, and NFTs on smart contracts. So there's a bit for everyone here. You want the safer stuff? DOT is my pick. I've got DOT. We've talked about it on the channel for a long time. TVK is my pick out of the NFTs. There's something a little safer. GameSwap is the gamble, $25 billion market cap. DeFi, Reef, still got some of this, still got in 1 inch. This is the DeFi plays. I like these. Accumulation zone, potentially not going to break out in April, but it's in an accumulation zone. That's when you want to be buying stuff, not when it's on the massive run. And then, of course, like I said, Reef, DeFi space. So NFT plays, let me know what you think it would be a great NFT for your play. Do you see any of these as something that you want to hold? Small caps, 25 million. Do you want to get into something that you can actually buy on an exchange that you're comfortable with? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit me up in the likes. See if we can get to 3,000 likes. Goes a long way to helping out the channel. Subscribe if you are new here. Links to all of those exchanges are in the description down below. SwiftX, CoinSpot, Binance, all down there. Get your $10 free or 10% off with Binance. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on another video. We'll check out Ethereum and Bitcoin in the upcoming video, which I'm going to do on news. So you should get 2 videos today. Lucky you. I'll catch you at the next one. Until then, have more fun to get more done. So quick look over to what is Dogecoin. Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency invented by software engineers Billy Markus and Jackson Palmer, who decided to create a payment system that is instant, fun, and free from traditional banking fees. To do this, the coin featured the friendly face of a Shiba Inu dog from the popular Doge. Who calls it Doge? Do you call it Doggy? Doge? Dog-E coin? I don't know. Meme in its logo. What do you call it? Let me know down below. I've always called it Doge because I think it sounds cool. Anyway, 127 billion Dogecoins, and there are more being mined, or the way they call it, are being dug out, because it's a dog, of course. A dog digs, it doesn't mine. So initial release is 2013. It's a very old cryptocurrency. It's been around a long time, and it's pretty much out of the old cryptos, Doge, Litecoin, Bitcoin, they're kind of like the three that have survived this whole time. There is a whole host of coins that came out in 2011, 12, 13, 14. Pretty much all of them are dead except these three. It looks like Ripple's on its way out, or XRP, but Dogecoin continues to live on. I think it's because it's not taken seriously, and that leads me over to what is it and what do they do. Dogecoin is literally just a meme, and you can see I'm just using Wikipedia and Google to check these things out. I've looked at Dogecoin so many times, and I'll have a look at that in the charts to let you know how and why. All it is just a meme that was created by Markus and Palmer. That's it, as simple as that. Jackson Palmer announced taking an extended leave. So Palmer has left. I thought I'd mention that as well. No one is really working on Dogecoin. It just sits there in the background. So what does it do? Nothing. It's just used for payments over the internet. And if it can do that in a very cheap and fast way, then I guess it's serving its purpose. The other thing that it's done is a lot of fundraising. So this was back in the day, you may have read this before, 2014 Winter Olympics. They sponsored the Jamaican bobsled team, raising $50,000. So this is the community, and there's a community on Reddit where I guess people interact, and we'll get to that as well throughout the video to look at how this pump has happened. In order to get these fundraising events up and running, then people talk about it on Reddit, get some money together, get the Dogecoin logos on NASCARs, on bobsleds. They've done some water stuff, water charity events in Kenya. Well, I wouldn't say events, but they've raised money to bring water to Kenya. And the NASCAR, they sponsored a driver in the NASCAR, Josh Wise, in 2014. So there was a lot of big fundraising stuff done in 2014 when the crypto market was going really hot. Since then, I haven't seen too much in the way of fundraising. Maybe this extra boom will show a little bit more fundraising from there because the price has pumped so hard. The green line is the US dollar price. We'll take the market cap out of there, and I'll take the Bitcoin price off, and you can see that the dollar value has just skyrocketed. It says 4 cents here, but we know it's a lot further up. It's at around nearly 8 cents now, and it's still going. So 230 sats. Now, I'll come to this on the TradingView chart, and if you want TradingView, I've got a link in the description down below. But essentially here, I use this as a range trading cryptocurrency, and we'll get to that, like I said, in just a moment. Let's take a look at their website, Dogecoin. Literally, that's it. It's a decentralized peer-to-peer digital currency that enables you to easily send money online. Think of it as an internet currency. Guys, I could go on and on about this. I could make a whole video about it, but essentially it's just a meme coin. It's just fun. That's it. Fun. How does a cryptocurrency be fun? I guess they're just not taking themselves seriously, and it's not about all the buzzwords, DeFi, smart contracts, anything like that. It's just a cryptocurrency. That's it. In 2014, there was also the porn star. Yes, I'm going to put this in here. Angela White. And I can't scroll around too much on the page. That's what I have to think about here because there are nude pictures on here, and of course YouTube will block the video. So essentially 2014, you can see the dates here. Angela White first talks about Dogecoin. Dogecoin community created her payment platform so that she could accept cryptocurrency. In the case of this is Dogecoin for her services online. So I'm finding my words here without getting too into details. She has also talked about it here. Again, I can't scroll around on this page. Angela White, 22 hours ago, talking about pumping it. And then, of course, we have some other jokes here about pumping different things. Dogecoin, another thing that she's been talking about, and looking at this, January 3rd, she also made a post back then, earlier this month, January 2021, talked about pumping Dogecoin. So she has been on it since 2014. In terms of a return, that does look like a pretty decent return if we look at it in terms of a dollar price. Taking the Bitcoin chart off, 2014, that was the pumps back then. So at around 0.1 of a cent, currently at 7.7 cents. Huge return on her money there from getting in earlier, because the pawn industry is just getting banned from PayPals and other payment gateways. So a digital currency like Dogecoin, which is fun, doesn't mean anything, has done her very well in her returns. So Dogecoin, she talked about it there, and that also pumped the price minimally, but it also pumped the price earlier this month. Now onto the real news, the real stuff. Here we are at Reddit, and I've just come across this one post, and I wanted to talk about this one because I think it weighs into the price, I wouldn't say manipulation, but the price movements that we've seen. And 5 hours ago, this is important too, because this is happening very, very fast. This is I'm at 2 p.m. Queensland time, which is pretty late Thursday night for North America. So 5 hours ago, you've got people in Reddit talking about Dogecoin and what they are wanting to do, trying to pump it to $1. I don't think these people really know what that would mean to the price of Doge to get it to $1. Maybe it's possible, but if you were to push Doge to $1 per Doge, that would mean the market cap would have to be at about $128 billion. Now, $128 billion would put you at Ethereum. So you would be just underneath Ethereum at that point. Nothing's impossible, but I think they just sort of overshot the mark here. I think going for 10 cents would have been crazy, but I guess you got to go to $1 to get it to 10 cents because people are a little bit delusional when it comes to these prices. What we're going to look at here is the delusional nature of this sort of coin, because 4 hours ago, the price of Doge was about, we're at 2 o'clock, 4 to 5 hours ago is 10 a.m. So I want to look at my 10 a.m. chart. 10 a.m. is at about 107 to 109 Satoshis. And if we look at 11 a.m., because it's around that time that people really started getting onto Reddit as well, that's going to bring us to about 128, 129 Satoshi. So benefit of the doubt, let's say somewhere around that 100 to 130. The returns aren't that fantastic. They're great within a matter of hours. You're going to double your Bitcoin in that time. But the real money is obviously made in knowing when to buy, buying a bit lower, or a hell of a lot lower, and that is going to put us way out just literally a few days ago when this was at the 25 point mark, the 25 Satoshi level. This is the market sentiment that I look at from here. So people who are looking at buying Doge, these sort of amateur traders, or I'm going to call them traders, not investors, because they're literally just trying to flip it, just bought my first batch of Doge, buying more tomorrow. Look, I could be completely wrong, but the trend may have been crushed by tomorrow. So keep that in mind as well. I'm not saying this is not a buy recommendation. I'm not saying to buy or sell. Do whatever it is you need to do, but this is not a buy recommendation. Next part is, how did you buy it? Robinhood. So maybe Robinhood is going to get destroyed, meaning that they just don't have the services to be able to support people coming on board to buying it, because it looks like here, is it down right now for you? So it looks like these people can't even get on to buy Dogecoin on Robinhood. So if you get stuck in Robinhood holding Dogecoin at these extreme high levels, you could get your account extremely destroyed. So that's if it goes against you. If this could double from here, maybe. But remember, the risk is just so much higher now that we're up this far from just literally 2 days ago. And the distance that we're up from here is from this point up to here, 800%. And that's only on the Bitcoin value. Now, Bitcoin hasn't moved too much in price in that period. So this is pretty fair to say the dollar value is about 800% as well, give or take. Something up 800%. Not saying it can't go further, but the risk is a lot higher than if you're in a few days ago. So the last bits of news are pretty much old now, even though they're only a day or even a few hours. The other point being is that the chairman of Wall Street Bets, which is another Reddit group, asks about Dogecoin. So these sort of things can push the price a hell of a lot. It's just the excitement of the news that's made this go even crazier than it needs to be. Other article I've got here is The Street. Dogecoin spikes as Reddit investors pump meme cryptocurrency. And yes, we've just looked at Reddit. This is one example of this happening. It doesn't have too many hits on it. 350 comments, not bad. Upvoted 99%, so it's up there. Basically, it's just let's get this thing to $1. That's all it is. Copy and paste on Wall Street Bets. Let's do this. Long story short, get it up there, pump it. So they're not wrong in that. Previous to this, we know Elon Musk also messaged Dogecoin on his Twitter account. So he tweeted Dogecoin, and that puts that in the minds of other people. And when they see it going nuts, obviously jump on board. So there's a lot packaged together here to get the message spread out to the masses. And then when these events come together, it's no wonder that these things can pump. And with a massive circulation on Reddit about let's get this thing to $1, moving it to 10 cents probably isn't such a hard ask at this point. All right, so let's have a look at the chart now onto this point to see how we can trade this in the future moving forward. And if you already have your own Dogecoin trading plan, let me know in the comments down below. Have you traded it before? And what are your percentage gains? Don't tell me how much you own or how much you got in dollar value. That's fine. Percentage gains are all that's needed. Now, Dogecoin, I'm going to look at it on the Bittrex chart because there is more data here. This little pink arrow is where I first got into Doge this time round, 18 sats. And sadly, I got out around 87, all out at 87. This thing has pumped well and truly past that point. Now, my trading plan doesn't say to hold until it's at 200 Satoshis. My trading plan just says get 4 to 5x returns depending on what Satoshi I buy down here, and then get out. Because the history that we've got here going all the way back to 2014 shows a really clean and easy trend, and 3 easy trades here in February of 2017, later in late 2017, and then again now in late 2020 into early 2021. And the trade is just buy under 20, sell at 80. And now I've got a yellow line horizontal at 99 because there are quite a lot of times that it's hit close to 100, but there are multiple times where it didn't make it that far. And 80 is kind of the safe level to get out almost 100% of the time. You've got this bar here, but of course you're not entering because we haven't entered below 20. Now, if we wanted to have more opportunities to trade Dogecoin, then we'll just raise this up to around 30 Satoshis, and that would give you 1 entry and an exit. You'd miss this, you'd only just get in. Maybe you would miss this one here, but you're at 28 Satoshi, so you could almost get in here, then get out again a few weeks later. Enter here, you're holding for about 2 months before you get the pump, but you've got another trade here. So far we have 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, 4 trades. At this point, you'd be buying in and you would be almost thinking that this is never going to happen because you've had to wait. You get this small pump, and this was on the TikTok pump, July of 2020. Then earlier this year, we had the pump from Angela White, a porn star. So that's another small pump there. Jokes aside, or you can leave them in the comments. But now we finally get that real big push up, and you have to be holding pretty tight for a very long time here to get this pump. And maybe that's the reason why we got such a massive pump out of Dogecoin this time, because the accumulation was huge. When you have shorter periods of accumulation, maybe the pumps aren't going to be as big because not enough people have been accumulating Dogecoin. Whereas here we've seen massive accumulation, very long time down, a very long time until it hit 80 Satoshis again. So that's possibly why we have pushed so far up so quickly. It's just a massive, massive wind up here. So that's a very simple Dogecoin plan. If you don't want to be stuck in it, then definitely bring this down to around 22, maybe 21 Satoshis, and just go for the big runs and push this up probably somewhere close to 90 or 100 Satoshis. And the final part to the plan is pretty much just sell out regardless of how far it runs above your exit. So if your exit's at 100, it runs to 200 like it has done today, and this is on the Binance chart, then that's it. You've made about 4 to 5 times your Bitcoin value. Suck it up, move on to the next thing, and be done with it. So that's Dogecoin, a very simple plan. I don't know how long this plan will continue to work, but so far it has worked almost every single time. And if you had to hold on a little bit longer, maybe for a couple of years until it pumps again, so be it. But it has worked across its entire history. So I love that part about Dogecoin. I use it to trade often, like you can see here. And I think this will happen again this cycle, especially like we saw in 2017. We saw one massive pump, huge dump all the way back to where it came from. So keep that in mind if you're considering getting into Doge at these levels, or if it happens to go higher. It has the potential to retrace the entire move all the way back to where it started from. So this starting point is at around 15 Satoshis. So it has the potential to do that. Keep that in mind. You could lose a lot of Bitcoin value while still retaining your US dollar value. And of course, we're here to stack sats. So keep that in mind. That's Dogecoin. That's its history, where it's come from, what does it mean, what does it do, and an easy to trade plan from Dogecoin. A fantastic way, or I've found, to double, triple, quadruple our Bitcoin stacks. If you found value from the video, let me know. Comments down below, like the video up, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and hit that bell notification icon. Also got my new course out, the Investor Accelerator. Link will be in the description to that. There's 140% discount spots available, so make sure you jump onto that now before they're all gone. That's pretty much it for me today. I'll see you guys at the next video. I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, have more fun, get more done. Peace out. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Last night we did a live stream as PayPal announced that it's going to accept cryptocurrency payments on its platform. So today I want to do a short video and recap the news, but then look at the charts, because it's been nearly 24 hours that the news has been out, and we want to see whether that news has had some effect on the markets itself. Now, with some huge news like this, you would expect it to pump the price. Even Elon Musk's tweets pumped Bitcoin price more than PayPal. Funny that. So I've got a tweet on my Twitter page, so if you want to come across and join Twitter, be sure to go over there and follow me. Follow me over there, Jason Pizzino. Was the breaking PayPal crypto payments news priced into crypto prior to the announcement on 30th of March? Yes, priced in, 65%. No, pump incoming, 35%. So just an hour or two old here, 120 votes. Keep your votes coming at the moment. Most people think it's been priced in. Very interesting. All right, let's have a look at the trends. Now, I just have two trends today. PayPal crypto, PayPal Bitcoin. They all spiked last night as we were coming in, well, as the news was released. PayPal crypto, PayPal Bitcoin, right up there, and now they have basically died off at this point. So I think that news has been priced in. It's definitely run its course, and I don't think we'll see any moves in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin related to PayPal in the near future. If they move, it's based on something else. Fear and greed, 76. We have now creeped up into the extreme greed section. So we are now in that territory where people are getting really, really cocky about what it is we should be investing in, altcoins, pumps, alt season, etc. Market cap, we are at $1.8 trillion, 1.1 trillion on Bitcoin, 200 million Ethereum, and I'll do a video today as well coming up on Binance. It's had a very good run today. It's just down a couple of bucks from where it was at its high today, and it has pushed past 300 and broken some resistance points. So I'm going to do a separate video on that, whereas today we're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin to recap and to update the charts and see where they're going from this point. Now, I should have mentioned, hit the like button down below if you find some value from the content. Subscribe to the channel, getting close to that 110,000. We've got the giveaway coming up next week, so if you want to be involved in the giveaway, go down to the description, leave your email address there. There's an easy link to follow, and that's a free 12-month membership to the Investor Accelerator membership course. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin is on the brink of dropping out of the top 10 if we're going to move on with Chainlink. Let's recap the news. PayPal now allows crypto spending at millions of merchants. PayPal has started allowing US users to spend their cryptocurrency holdings at millions of online merchants. Development means PayPal users who hold Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin in PayPal digital wallets can now convert their crypto holdings into fiat to make purchases. So you've got to convert it into fiat to make purchases. This is what has been reported. It's not like you can just pay for it with Bitcoin, basically sell it and then pay for something with your fiat. Kind of like the way that the Crypto.com app works. We think it is a transitional point where cryptocurrencies move from being predominantly an asset class that you buy, hold, and or sell to now becoming a legitimate funding source to make transactions in the real world at millions of merchants. So it is gaining legitimacy. This is what we were betting on in 2019 and 2020. The gamble back then was that cryptocurrency would become legitimate. Most people didn't gamble on that. Most people didn't bet on that it would happen. It is happening, and now they're coming into the space. This is how and why we need to really pay attention to the space that we're in early on in the piece. And yes, there does come a hell of a lot of risk at that time because nothing is guaranteed, but that's the risk that you're taking, looking at what's happening in the world moving forward and why you think Bitcoin or Ethereum would have been a great investment back in 2020. You know that, you've seen it on my Instagram where I post my super fund, my retirement fund, my holdings, where I've got Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have basically been bought since 2017. 26 grand put into those, currently at around 245 grand today. You see that on my Instagram. 1/10, this is big for Bitcoin. 1/10 of a Bitcoin derivatives giant CME group to launch micro BTC futures contracts. So essentially, there are Bitcoin futures. Now CME is launching a micro contract. So you only need 1/10 of a Bitcoin. So you're basically trading with 1/10 of a Bitcoin. You don't own the 1/10 of a Bitcoin, but the contracts represent 0.1 of a Bitcoin. Now you see this in traditional markets where they'll break down the contracts and make them smaller. Biggest case in the world, the biggest example is the S&P 500. So you trade the E-mini. You don't trade most people don't trade the S&P 500 because the contract size is too big. You need to have too much cash in there. So most people trade the E-mini. This is similar. This is what's going on here, and we are starting to see a maturing phase of cryptocurrency into traditional markets. So very exciting news. Stimulus, more stimulus coming. President Biden and Senate Democrats press for another $3 trillion. This is, they've already got 2.25 now. It was 1.9, then there was 2.25, which I saw earlier on Meet Kevin's channel. So that means they have a total of about 1.75 to come out of their 4 trillion. There's another 3 trillion. Look, there's trillions on top of trillions on top of trillions. I don't know when it's going to end. Who knows when it's going to end? What do you think about the US government's pushing out a $3 trillion relief bill after passing the recent $1.9 trillion just a few weeks ago? So it looks like a total of around $5 trillion. I mean, what's 100 billion among friends? If you ever watch Benjamin Cohen, what's a few trillion among friends? Basically 5 trillion, 2 trillion now, 3 trillion later. Let's just keep the money printer rolling in. This may be a big reason that we can continue to see a Bitcoin bull market carry on longer than we're expecting. It's all speculation. So far, that is what we've seen. So I guess people are kind of getting used to that. See money, go buy Bitcoin. Speaking of which, let's check out the Bitcoin chart. Now, this is the level that I'm watching up here. We've got a high, $60,080. So this is what we're looking at on last night's live stream. It's about 2 hours long, so there's a lot of Q&A in the live stream as well. You can go back and check it out if you like. Basically, top in here at 60,000. We've got our alert set. I'm seeing lower volume coming up. So what we want to happen is for today's action to test the 60,000, call it 60,100, and close above it. That would be ideal because that would be our second highest close in Bitcoin history. The highest close is the 12th of March so far. And so if we can get that close, that basically pushes us more into the bullish sense. And all we have to do then is wait for this top to be taken out, which is only a few percent away. Now, I have to sort of put myself in the mind of a new trader or a beginner who doesn't really understand percentages or market caps. And this is not having a go at anyone. The comments that I see, I guess people don't really understand what it is, like how to invest. And basically, for Bitcoin, it's a really high price. A lot of people still don't realize they can just buy a fraction of Bitcoin. They think they have to buy one whole Bitcoin. The other side is some people forget that if Bitcoin moves $1,000 or $3,000, and I know most of you probably already get this, so apologies about that, but if this thing moves from where it is now at 59,500 to break the top of 61, 62,000, it's really only a 4% move. But this will get the biggest headlines that we will ever see because we're breaking into new all-time territory. But it's only a 4% move. Most people in crypto won't get out of bed for 4%. It's a waste of time. So just keep that in mind as the headlines will begin to come out. Sure, many of us on YouTube will be posting about the same thing. Bitcoin, new all-time highs. It catches attention. This is what it is. So what I'm saying here is there's a 4% move above. For me, the way I trade is to wait for confirmations. And so there is no confirmation just yet in my trading plan to say enter a position. Now, like I said, I've already got a decent Bitcoin position and I'm not looking to enter yet, but if I found a great opportunity to bring in fresh money to Bitcoin, then I would. And my big opportunity is somewhere if we were to test these lows here at 50,000 and bring it back to around 45,000. Now, this is a very, the 40,000 to 45,000 level is very optimistic to get a very cheap Bitcoin, but I don't throw anything out at the moment. You know, like it looks like we could be heading up higher, but these volumes just keep dying out and more and more and more. Sure, there isn't as much selling pressure, but there isn't as much buying pressure either. So it can only lead to so far before we get a significant correction or just a pause until we reaccumulate. I would like to see it here, but I don't control the market. I would like to see a reaccumulation happening where we are here from around this 45 to around that 62. You know, this is just a good area to get some more Bitcoin in into those bags. And of course, if we get to pull back, that would be great. Let's break it down to the hourly chart because we have just seen a little bit of a break above these highs. That's what we want to see as it begins to climb its way to the next target right here. But last night we were watching this, waiting for something to happen because of the PayPal news, and the news came out around 7 to 8 p.m. Queensland time. So that's these two bars here, and we saw it move up for the 2 hours and then nothing, just faded on the news. So the news did have, I would say, basically no effect. If you wanted to call it from the time at the bottom of this bar to where it faded out, you got about a 1.3% effect on Bitcoin. We all know Elon Musk has had a bigger effect on Bitcoin than PayPal. Funny that Elon Musk created PayPal, or was, you know, he was the inventor in the first place of PayPal and sold it to Peter Thiel. I've got to go back and check my figures on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the story there. Let's swing across to Ethereum and Litecoin, ETH USD. We're starting on the hourly chart here, so let's go back to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 p.m. Aussie time, and that's all we had from Ethereum. Overall, we're basically at exactly the same level to where we were when the news broke. That's it. So PayPal's had next to no effect on Ethereum. We're coming up to a double top here. On Ethereum, I think we're going to get a bigger break than we will from Bitcoin. That's like, obviously that's almost guaranteed for a lot of people. This to me is another reaccumulation zone. And you probably heard that over YouTube as well. And you've heard the opposite. A lot of people selling Ethereum. I am not selling any of my Ethereum at this point. I see Ethereum going a lot further than $1,800, and this is my safest play out of all of them with the highest return. Now, Ethereum has a lot of stuff built on it. We know that. It's slow. Well, I mean, it's kind of slow. Gas fees are high. Doesn't matter. It's actually usable. Cardano, I'm sorry to say, there is nothing on Cardano. Sure, it could be coming. That's what we're all speculating on. But Ethereum is being used now. Same deal with Binance. And so I'm going to do a video on Binance as well. PancakeSwap. That stuff is hot, and they have a huge ecosystem and making a profit. So Ethereum, this is a big wind-up in my books. Look at the volume drying up in a range trading pattern up here. So we're looking at these lows. So let me use this over here. They're the lows. They're the highs. This is what we want to see. And in these patterns, in these triangle patterns at the tops, that's generally what happens is the volume begins to dry up. And even on the dips down, there's not as much because not as many people are selling. And the people who have sold, you got the buyers coming in just snapping up what they can before the price goes in the opposite direction. So Ethereum is looking very, very bullish to me right now. Very bullish. This is one of the majors that I'm buying along with Binance. I haven't bought Binance in a very, very long time, but it is winding up again. It looks really good. So I'll talk about that later. As I said, Ethereum, very, very good. Let's look at Ethereum BTC before we check out a Litecoin. Okay, so Ethereum BTC, why we check this is that we want to make sure that our investments are increasing in Bitcoin value as well. So some of you still don't get that, that's fine. You know, you're new to the space and it's really confusing already to just understand crypto against fiat currency. But now we're including crypto versus another crypto, and we're just going to compare it to the king. The king is Bitcoin. And so Ethereum is finding some strong volume here. The point is we want to reduce our risk. That's why we're comparing it to another cryptocurrency. So if the crypto that I'm looking at here, say Ethereum, continues to trend down against Bitcoin, like it did previously, then you're much safer just holding Bitcoin because you're losing all this Bitcoin value. You could have had, 10%. So I'm looking at the price over here, 10% of your Bitcoin, and then it drops all the way down to 1 to 2%. So you've lost 80% of your Bitcoin value. Whereas now we're starting to climb again. So it looks like Ethereum is coming back and is going to potentially break on through and get us more Bitcoin and USD because we also see Bitcoin as rising in value. So this is looking okay. This is looking reasonably solid at the moment after a little bit of a scare on this drop. Now if I bring it back to a 2-day chart just to get rid of some of the noise, volume coming in at these lows, great sign. Next thing that we want to see, break past these swing tops at 0.032 and then of course this swing top here at 0.035. They're the confirmations for me. Above the 50%, fantastic. Safe bet, 0.035, just above that. That's a safer play because right now it's still possible we could break down from here. So the safer bet is buying up here as Ethereum crosses the 0.035. Litecoin, last one we're going to have a look at, see if there was any sort of PayPal effect to Litecoin, and I'm pretty sure you know the answer to this. Pretty much no, nothing. That was the one that everyone was waiting for. Nothing. So let's go back to last night, 30th of March, around 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., like we were on the live stream, and then it just faded out from that point, all the way back down. So the news had zero effect. Now we're starting to move again. We have 9 minutes left on this hourly bar. It's late at night for the US. That's possible why the volume is down. Want to see this top break. That $199, obviously $200, psychological level. That needs to break and hold again for Litecoin against US dollar. More importantly, Litecoin against BTC continues on its woeful path further and further down. So it's only just above its recent major lows at 0.0032. We're currently at 0.0033, so only barely above that. And it's been a sorry story for some time for Litecoin against Bitcoin. At some point, like we always say in the videos, it should pump somewhere. But right now, we're just seeing a mega bull market, bear market against Bitcoin. So I've got some day counts here as to what I hope to happen after we get a bit of a pump. And on previous runs for Litecoin, it has shown 68 days up, 69 days up, 113 days up. So basically, very similar timeframes on the way that the timeframes that it pumps to its top from its absolute low to absolute top. So that gives you some idea of when the pump could be over. Now this pump here was in the lead up to Litecoin halving. So there is a little more time in that one there. People know about that. These were altcoin pumps. These are in altcoin season, one massive pump, another massive pump. And so far, Litecoin has not pumped in altcoin season. So that's Litecoin. There was basically no PayPal effect across any of those three currencies. We're not looking at Bitcoin Cash. It's almost irrelevant these days, unfortunately. Sorry if you're a holder and an absolute BCH maxi believer. We're not going to look at that today. Litecoin, no movement. Ethereum, huge setup. I'm very bullish on Ethereum at the moment. Bitcoin, I'm very bullish on it long term. Don't get me wrong. But Bitcoin, I am not convinced that we're going to break through just yet. There's a few more areas that I want to see it cross and hold with some conviction, some strong volume. Otherwise, probably retest some lower levels. Nothing major. 10% fall, 15% fall. It's no big deal. I don't know if it's going to happen. That's all I'm looking at the moment. So that's my wrap up of those three on PayPal. Nothing happened there. What are your thoughts? Do you think it was priced in already? Looking at this tweet, yes, priced in. We had a little change here, 128 votes now since we've been filming. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Go over to the Twitter, go over to my Instagram, follow me over there, Q&As on Instagram, polls on Twitter and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like the video up. Today is the last day that you can get on to entering the giveaway draw. The giveaway is next week, but today is the last day for the pricing, before the price increases on the course. I'll wrap it up there. I'm stumbling on my words. Check it out. All the links are below in the description. If you want to trade this, get below in the description. SwiftX, Binance, all the good stuff is there. I'll catch you guys at the next video. Until then, have more fun together.
Hey guys, so I had a request in the Facebook group that I manage, the Life Zoltar Investing, to do a walkthrough and set up in a configuration of this crypto hopper, which is basically like a cryptocurrency trading bot. And if you're not in that Facebook group, feel free to join. We have like 500 people in there right now, and a lot of expertise in there. We talk about all things crypto, like trading, pump and dumps, coins, ICOs, all that fun stuff. So a lot of good information in there. But anyways, a lot of folks in the group are asking about Crypto Hopper, and I'm still, you can see I'm still in the trial period here, and I'm playing around with it, and I got it set up where it's doing some pretty good trades to where I'm averaging almost like 10 to almost 20% a day returns. Again, it's still in the trial, so no guarantees yet, but it seems the past couple days have been pretty awesome with this thing. So I'm going to kind of walk through how I set this thing up, and just a quick overview of how it works and how you can start making some profits with this thing. So anyways, I'll put the link down below. Crypto Hopper. When you set up, do not use the recommended the HopperBot. Create your own, or do like a manual custom one. It's Poloniex Hopper. So just choose that one right here where my cursor is. And you can see I'm in the bunny trial period. It's like a 30-day free trial, so there's literally no charge. You sign up for 30 days. I think you can get started for like under $100 US dollars, and then you can set up some trades. So anyways, this is the dashboard. I'll just quickly go through these toggle switches. Hopper's enabled, buying is enabled, selling is enabled. Panic button is basically if the market's tanking, you can just hit this and it just sells all your positions. Open orders, I don't have any open orders right now in Poloniex. Open positions right now, I have mine set to sell at a 1.9% profit. Again, I'll go through the config as soon as I'm done going over the dashboard here. So once this hits a 1.9% open position, this bot will trigger a sell in Poloniex, and I'll go through that here in a bit. And then you have the option to manually buy and sell over here, and then this is the output. So as it's doing the buys and sells, it'll show you here. And then I also have it hooked into signals, so through Twitter and Telegram. So as those signals are triggered, that's what the bot uses to place its positions. So that's basically it. These are just the price targets from those signals. So that's basically it for the dashboard. So now the meat and potatoes of this thing is setting it up. So let me go to the config. So when you create an account, it's going to ask you if you want kind of an out-of-the-box setup, or if you want to start from scratch. So start from scratch. Select the Poloniex Hopper, and you can copy what I did because it's working for me. So Poloniex Hopper, live bot, that basically means it's turned on. Poloniex Exchange, API key, and then put in your secret. That basically, obviously just syncs up with your user account on the exchange. Base currency, I have it set to Bitcoin. Now, so with the free trial, they give you 15 coins, I believe. I only have 5 selected because these are literally the only 5 that are working for me right now. It's January 19th, 2018 right now, and the market is absolute crap. So it's just completely tanked. So that's the reason why only a couple coins are working for me right now. So if you're setting this up now in January of 2018, I would recommend these coins. So Dogecoin, Litecoin, Lisk, Genus, and Bitcoin Cash. So these are the only 5 coins I selected. So select that. Multiple TA factors, definitely select that. As your strategy, like I said, I've played around with this for 2-3 weeks now, and this is giving me literally a steady, like, what, 2-3% percent gain, per trade, and literally like 10 to upwards of 20% gain per day. So this is by far, I'm still tweaking and still playing, and I'll make another video if I find a better strategy, but right now this is working awesome for me. So these 5 coins, multiple TA factors as my strategy. This is kind of a canned out of the box of Crypto Hopper. Okay, so now percent profit. Now I have mine set as 1.9. You can set it higher. Because I'm still playing with this, I didn't want to get too greedy. But I'm clearly going over 1.9. I mean, I'm getting upwards of like 4. But I'm definitely getting over 1.9, so I might even jack that up a little higher. But to play it safe, I'm still going to leave it at 1.9. Now these bid prices, leave them at 0.5. So lower bid and higher ask, yeah, leave those at 0.5. Now the stop loss, I have the trailing loss, I have those turned off. So again, I mean, you can play around with these, but like I said, I mean, they work the best when I just have all these turned off. What else? Okay, so max open time sell 30, max open time buy 30, max open positions is 200, max percent open positions per coin 200, percent buy amount is 0.7, minimum amount PTC open per order. That amount. I mean, but again, I mean, these are just how much you want to spend. So I mean, obviously that's up to you. That's just what I have. And again, I'm in a trial, so still playing around. Maximum BTC amount allocated 0.1. So, and then notifications. These are just if they're gonna send you an email or whatever when they make a trade. So again, that's how I have it set up, and it's working for me. And I'll show you exactly how it's working. Now again, so that's the configurations. Now how this really works, and config pools, I haven't played with that yet, and I'm making good profits without really even configuring this, so no real need to set it up. Now again, I'm still playing with this. I haven't really had that much time to start playing with more like the advanced stuff, so once I do that, I'll make another video. Now how this thing really works and how it works good is it taps into signals. So now there are a bunch of signal groups in here. Actually, if I go to here are all the signal groups that you can tap into, and that's how this Crypto Hopper trading bot kind of makes its trades. So it taps into these signal groups, and that'll know kind of how or when to kind of do a buy and sell. So before, when I first did this, I subscribed to everything. Like I subscribed to, so these 2 here are the only paid ones. So this is like a $5 subscription fee, and this is a $6 subscription fee, and the rest of these are all free. So when I first did this, I just boom, 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 boom. I just subscribed to absolutely everything, and I wasn't having that good of results. So what I did was I unsubscribed from a lot of these, and I started having a lot better results. So right now, I am only subscribed to Crypto Grow, Crypto Lion Signals, Crypto Signals, and Crypto Wolf Signals. And the rest of these I am not subscribed to because they were not giving me good results. So I would recommend only these 4 to subscribe to. All right, so going back to here. And again, like this back testing, you don't really need to do some of this stuff. I mean, it's basically just like testing the bot and that sort of thing. And then charts is, you know, basically just trading charts, stats, that sort of thing. Now, so what's really cool is, so look at this. This is awesome. So this is my trade history. So look at the kind of results I'm getting. So, you know, 4%, 3%, 3%, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So like almost like an average of like 3% per trade. Now I did have a couple negatives. So when I first set this thing up here, I'll sort it by date just to be 100% honest with you guys. What's today's date? The 19th. Okay. So the reason why I have these, obviously the reason why I have this is when I first set this thing up, it placed, I did some manually, I subscribed to, like I said, all those signal groups, and I did some manual, look at this thing, like it bought like 566 Dogecoins, and I didn't get it tuned, it really messed up, and what it did was it bought like a ton of Dogecoins, and it sat there for like 2 weeks. And just today, was it today or yesterday, I'm like, you know, this thing has been sitting in there for like 2 weeks, I'm just going to sell it for a loss. So I just triggered it as a manual sell order, and you know what, I'm just going to hit it, and I'm just going to take a loss on it because I'm tired of seeing it. But literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 trades are the only losses that I had, and I manually triggered these trades. That's why I did a loss, and the only reason I did that is because I was tired of seeing them on my dashboard, and because they were sitting there for like since the time I opened my account. So what, like 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm like, man, it's screwing up all my my stats. So that's why I just trigger these. I got them. I flushed the system basically. I got them out. So that's why I'm negative. So, but if you go in, I mean, literally that is the only red. So now when I filter this out, I mean, literally that is the only red. Everything else is green. Look, boom, green, 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 and then obviously there's the red again. So, I mean, you can see it's just, you know, 4%, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So clearly it's doing really, really well. And just now, when I go back to here, when was this? So the date. So I just got it tuned maybe a week ago. So now, you know, so you can see so hopefully from now on I'll start, you know, getting 3% returns on every single trade, which would be awesome. So that's about it. I mean, I'm trying to think what else I could show you guys for this, but like I said, I mean, just set it up like I have it here. Select, you know, just these four signal groups because the other ones didn't work for me. Set it up with these 5 coins because the other coins weren't working for me. Multiple TA factors. You know, set it up with this configuration that I did here, and just let it go to work for you, really. And again, I'm really still playing with this thing. But so far so good, and like I said, I mean, it's doing pretty well. I mean, the only reason why I have these 5 here in the red is because I manually triggered those, but the rest you can see is all green. I mean, look at green, 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 that's a 0, oops, green, 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 and there's nothing there. So I mean, clearly it's working. So that's it. It's really easy. I mean, I've played around with Hasbot like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, maybe, I don't remember, and kind of dipped in some bots before, but this was so easy to use, and it's all web-based, super easy to use, super easy to config, and I think it's the only bot that offers a free trial too. Every other bot makes you pay for it. So, which is, you know, so cool on Crypto Hopper because they literally give you 30 days to try it for free. So it's, it's the easiest one to use I've seen so far. 30 days free trial, and look, I mean, I'm getting, pretty damn good returns considering it's a bear market right now. I mean, the market is horrible right now. So, all right, guys. I almost forgot to show Poloniex the trade history. I almost ended the video without or forgetting to show this. But anyways, the bot obviously connects through API interface through Poloniex. So I just wanted to show you my trade history here. So you can clearly see it was making trades with the Poloniex. See Poloniex, your trade history, and here they are: buy, sell, all the buy, sell orders. And again, I mean, that bot was going to work. So there they were. So that's it. All right, guys, any questions, let me know. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.
All right, so here's your how to mine Dogecoin. Go and hop in the Wayback Machine. I'm gonna show you how to mine Dogecoin on your CPU. Guess what? You probably won't find any blocks. Probably won't make any Dogecoin. But if you want to play the bet, play the lotto, make some Doge, you knows? I guess this is the video for you. You ready? All right. So, first things first, you're gonna need a place to exchange Doge. All right. Look, here's the deal. Let me tell you something. Real quick. There's like maybe one exchange that you can pair with USD that you can log on to from the US. All right. Also, I don't care if you have your private keys for Doge. It's Doge. You're gonna mine it, sell it. Yeah. So here's the deal. No Coinbase really. You can't really buy Doge over there. You can buy it on a couple other exchanges. You can't do it on crypto.com. So all these are ones that you can like actually get USD out and put it, into your account. So you have to use something else. And this is YoBit. We'll leave a I can't even keep a straight face with you guys. So we're gonna use YoBit because it's legal to use in the US, and you can swap the Doge for Bitcoin and then send that to your crypto.com wallet. So sign up for crypto.com down in the description below. Your goal is going to be mining Doge, taking a chance, dumping it out and swapping it, selling it here for some Bitcoin or ETH, and then shooting that off to get the money off of it. All right, that's going to be your goal. There's some other options, Bittrex, but there's Binance, but Binance for the US doesn't work, and Bittrex doesn't work for me anymore because I have a Texas address. So welcome to mining Dogecoin. So first of all, you're just going to go ahead and register for the YoBit. Luckily, this one's pretty easy because they don't make you confirm any addresses usually. I think maybe they do later, but whatever. I don't know. So you're just going to basically put in all your information to create an account. Go through the, the CAPTCHAs for YoBit. Because we need an address. I guess those don't count as bicycles, do they? Can't really tell. I'm terrible at these. Yes, we did it. We got it right. Your login should not be less than 5 symbols. So T. Done. Never save it. Alright, so now we can go ahead and log in. What do we use? That one? That works. I'm not a robot. Log in. Oh, dang. We do have to verify our email account. Son of a biscuit. Hold on, let me go verify it real quick. Bam! Done. So you do have to verify I was incorrect. It's been a while. So verify your account, do the CAPTCHAs, get them incorrect like me. I don't know, something like that. Yep. And then watch this video and get your 1,700 free dollars. That's a lie. You won't get anything. Don't do it. Okay. You do get something, but you got to sign up for Telegram, and it's not $1,700. Okay. All right. Listen to me. It's not $1,700. Also, don't keep any crypto in this exchange. All right. So next, you need to get your wallet address. So you're gonna go over here. You're gonna hit wallets. You go down to Doge. We're gonna find some Doge here. We're gonna hit that wallet address we need for our sweet mining. We're gonna open up a notepad here. Just, throw it in Notepad for later. Save it for later. So now we can essentially come into Yobit, bam, and exchange our mined Dogecoin. Okay. Next thing, the pool. The only pool that you should really be mining to, unfortunately, is a Ka pool. I prefer Zerg pool because it's anonymous, but it doesn't work really well. Okay. This one actually kind of works for Dogecoin. So there you go. All right. So you have to sign up. I hate signing up for pools. That's why I don't like this pool. But you're going to click the sign up button, okay? And we're just going to do a little password and a little usernames, and we'll use the same burner email here. All right, and then you'll pick a 4-digit PIN, click accept, register. This is the one that doesn't make you do all that ridiculousness, okay? You don't have to verify an email or anything. If you forget your password, you'd have to recover it that way. But so we're in our account. You need to go to My Workers, and then we need to add a new worker. We're just going to use the example. So user. So it's going to be sodi.user, and our password is going to be password. Okay. Okie doke. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Next thing we're going to do is download Easy Miner. Link will be down in the description for you guys. So, we're just going to come in here and download Easy Miner Setup. Being careful not to click any of the crazy stuff. You may have to approve it. It may get blocked. I recommend, turning off your antivirus. We're already in a meme coin, so, come in here and turn that off. Easy Miner doesn't usually get flagged, though. But sometimes the miners that it installs gets flagged. All right, so we're going to say, yeah, go ahead and download everything. Sure, install it. We're just going to finish setup. It's going to start it. And we're going to say okay and enter, accept that terms of license. We're just going to let it go through, and we're just going to skip and exit this. All right, so here's Easy Miner. And the setup is pretty simple. So you're going to go ahead and click the setup button. And then we are going to clumb down here. We're going to come down here and click load configuration. We're going to highlight the Doge example.ini. We're going to open it up. I hate it when it does that. Skip and exit that again if it opens up again. And let's see if it did it. Yep. So now we have our information. It loaded in as a CPU miner. Make sure it's set to script. This is all correct. The GPU is incorrect. The GPU miner really won't work on the newer drivers for Windows for script. So you have to load an older AMD and NVIDIA driver to make it work. I don't know exactly which one it is. We have a 6800. This video is purely for CPU mining though at this time. So we're really just worried about these settings right here. So if you remember, back over here at our pool, we created our user and our password. So we are just going to essentially type in our user, which is sodi.user, and then our password is password. And then we have our stratum and our port. We're going to go ahead and save this configuration as Doge. We're going to save it. Okay, so now everything's set up. You can, if you're on an older one, just copy this stuff over to the GPU. And if you're on an older driver, check Bitcoin Talk for whichever driver that needs to be. It'll load it up. I know that the latest AMD drivers won't work, so you can copy it over if you want. Really not a big deal. So once you're done with that, you're just going to click the X button. It's going to load you back into here, and then you're going to click the Start Mining button. At this point, we'll probably get a failure on the GPU. Yep. But we will get the CPU. You'll have to allow it through your firewall. And ta-da! We are now mining Dogecoin. We did it! We did it! We did it! Is that DMCA? Probably. All right, I'll show you guys how to get your money out. All right, you ready? So when you guys have been mining long enough, if you ever got lucky enough to get a block, if you're logged into ICA pool, you hit this earnings button right here. Eventually it'll open. It's really slow, and you'll see we didn't make anything, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. Well, maybe we'll make something later. All right, so to get your money out, you just want to hit the edit account button. Come down here, and your payment address is going to be the address we copied to the notepad, remember? From Yobit. We're gonna just paste it in here. You can set the threshold between 3 and 1,000. Keeping in mind the auto pay will take out 2 Doge fee, so you don't really want to set it to 2. So that would, you lose a lot of Doge that way. I recommend just not doing anything as far as auto. Just leave it to 0, and then you can scroll down here and it'll tell you what your Doge account balance is. And when you have account balance or whatever, you can just essentially paste your address into here, and then type in your 4-digit PIN that you created when you created the account, and click the cash out button. At that point, it will appear in your Doge wallet over here. And then you will essentially just go into the trade, and then you'll find Doge over here in the market, and then you'll select the Doge, and then you'll sell the Doge. So the balance will show up here, and you'll click the sell button, and you'll sell that Doge. And then you'll take that USD and transfer it to your account if you verified your account. But what I would do is I would pair it with like BTC, like this. See if we can get BTC, and I'd sell it for BTC. And then I'd go back to my wallets, and then I'd find my BTC, and then I'd withdraw that stuff as fast as I could. Hit this withdraw button and send it to my Coinbase or private wallet, or you know, whatever. So that's it. I feel like we just went back to 2012. Probably more like 2014. Anyways, that's how you mine Dogecoin on a CPU using Easy Miner on Windows 10. Enjoy. I'll see you next Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about how to mine Ethereum on Windows 10 for the year 2021. Start the new year off right and start earning some Ethereum with that computer hardware you have laying around. While it's not gaming or in production, you might as well make some money, right? Without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, you're going to want to download Brave. Not really. You can use any Chromium-based browser. This includes Microsoft Edge, Brave, of course, and then of course Chrome. Now, here's the thing. Brave is built on the blockchain. You can also earn BAT token while using Brave, and then you can use that token to trade out for some real world money. Pretty awesome deal there. I highly recommend it, and its privacy tools are great, including options to access Tor straight through the browser and so on and so forth. Anyways, link will be down in the description. Check it out. It does work with all of your Chrome plugins, and the plugin we're going to be taking a look at today is going to be MetaMask. So every miner needs a wallet to store their currency. The reason I recommend MetaMask or mining to MetaMask right now is because once you get a payout, you will essentially want to go ahead and start utilizing the Ethereum that you have to make even more money. You can do this in MetaMask and Uniswap very easily. So I think it's a good step. And when you guys are ready to start learning about Uniswap and adding liquidity to tokens, let me know in the comment section below. The first thing you're going to do is just go to metamask.io and click the install MetaMask for Chrome. Alternatively, you can go straight to the MetaMask plugin page in the Chrome Web Store. Once there, you're going to click the Add to Brave button, or Add to Chrome if you're in Chrome, or Add to Edge if you're in Edge, and click Add Extension. Once the extension is installed, it will take you to a Get Started page. At this point, you're going to click Get Started. We're going to be creating a new wallet, so click Create a Wallet, agree, and then choose an easy password. Just kidding. Choose a difficult password. I recommend for creating passwords using a password manager. This could be anything from Kaspersky to LastPass or Dashlane. I have no preference. I currently use Kaspersky because it's built into my suite. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments section below. Once done, you're going to click I have read and agree to the terms of use. One more thing that you could use, which I will show you, is random.org. At random.org, you can scroll down to the password generator, make sure that you have at least 8 characters for MetaMask, and click Get Passwords. At this point, you'll be presented with a list of passwords, and this is an easy way and a free open source way without downloading any other software to generate random passwords. Next, we're going to click Create. And this is where you will get your secret key or secret words. This is for recovery of the wallet and is basically what you would use if you clicked the import wallet button and you're either moving browsers or moving machines and you just got a new machine. This is very important. A, you don't want to share this with anybody, and B, you don't want to lose it. Now that makes this pretty difficult. There are plenty of ways to go ahead and secure this information, and we'll go over 3 of them right now. But first, you're going to want to go ahead and Control-C it and put it in a notepad, or what I would recommend also is just writing it down on a piece of paper to continue setup. Now that we have it in a notepad, you need to decide where to keep it. If you want to keep it on the computer, I would recommend using something like an external USB drive that you encrypt with basically the built-in Windows 10 BitLocker option to go ahead and encrypt the information. Another option is using NordLocker, which has been pretty helpful when moving between machines for me. It is basically an encrypted cloud storage service and works pretty well, and there's a free option that gives you 3 gigabytes, which is usually enough to store keys, or at least store keys temporarily. For the ultimate security, you really want to write this down and put it in a fireproof safe or somewhere where you wouldn't lose it. And that's because anytime your key is on the internet or touching the internet in any form or fashion, there is always a possibility of getting hacked. One of the things that you will notice with MetaMask that they do here is when you're recovering, you don't actually type the words out. The reasoning for this is to prevent people from gaining your information through software known as keyloggers. So to confirm the secret backup, you'll see we actually just click the buttons for the words. So we have river, and you want to do it in order: cupboard, knock, certain, hope, loud, melt, vehicle, cash, boss, head, and silver. So now that we've put them all in order, we're going to click confirm, and we can start using the MetaMask wallet. As I discussed earlier, token swapping is here, so you can swap directly in the MetaMask wallet, which makes it super duper easy. And this is all what people are starting to refer to as DeFi with Uniswap. DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and is just an additional way for miners to essentially make money off of the coins that they've mined. That's why I recommend using MetaMask. Your other options for wallets include exchanges. However, it's recommended you never mine to an exchange, as well as paper wallets and hardware wallets. All of those options are great, but for beginners, I think MetaMask is the way to go. So now that we have this, we're going to go ahead and click our account and copy it to clipboard and paste it in that notepad. That way we know this is the recovery key for this wallet. This is your public wallet address, and it's okay for the wallet address to be exposed to the outside world because it's how you accept and send payments. Will all be tied to this address. The next step is going to be downloading the miner. So today we're going to be using LOL Miner 1.17. It was released 16 days ago, and we are going to be obtaining it directly from their GitHub. There are a lot of different phishing websites as well as a lot of different issues when trying to search for a miner in Google or even DuckDuckGo, where you could download something malicious. And this is important because you need to keep in mind that all miners are considered malicious to some extent by every antivirus solution, which means you will have to make an exception. So you want to be very, very certain that you're downloading from a safe website, because you will have to allow it through, of course, your firewalls as well as through the browsers, so on and so forth. Brave browser is a little bit easier. Chrome will try to block it, so will Edge. So if you want to avoid that, I don't find that the Brave browser blocks it quite as often because obviously it's built on blockchain. So we're going to scroll down and we are looking for the LOL Miner v1.17 win64.zip, and we're going to start downloading. Once downloaded, we're going to click the little up arrow and click show in folder. At this point, we can go ahead and extract it. I would recommend putting it somewhere that you want to access it from. I personally usually put it on a secondary drive called games under my miners folder. But for today, we're just going to extract it in the downloads folder. So you will right click and say extract all if you're using the built-in Windows 10 decompression tool, or you can use 7-zip or WinRAR. It's all up to you. If you are using 7-zip or WinRAR, I assume that you already know how that functions. So we're going to click extract all and then extract. At this point, we will have all the files to start mining. There are some pre-configured batch files here, and they are preceded by .bat. If you do not see the .bat or the .text, these are known as file extensions, and you will need to go into your folder options to be able to see them, and this will be important later on. So what you'll want to do is go down to your Cortana search bar and search for File Explorer Options. Once you have that, you'll click the View tab, and then down here you want to uncheck the box for Hide Extensions for Known File Types, because essentially if we have it like that, this is probably what it looks like if you haven't already done this before. And yeah, I know. And there's my antivirus. So you see here that we basically have no file extensions. So if we wanted to create our own batch file, it would be a little bit more difficult. This just makes it clear. Uncheck it, click apply, and then you should see all of your file extensions. So now that we have our batch files, we need to go ahead and obtain the rest of the information to configure the files. We'll be doing that by heading over to our favorite mining pool, ethermine.org. The mining pool is up to you. There are many different options, and depending on your region, you may want to choose one that is closer to you. That being said, Ethermine is most popular in the US, but does have international options as well. And then, of course, in China, you have things like SparkPool, which would be the next largest one. And we will go over specific pools and maybe do pool reviews later on. If you're interested, let me know once again in the comment section below. So at this point, you'll just want to click the little menu button up in the top left and click the Start Mining option. And here is where you are going to find your mining server. They have options for Asia, Europe, US East, US West, and then of course the ports. You have your SSL port, your Stratum port, ports and alt stratum ports right here. We're going to be basically just modifying a pre-configured batch file from the miner that we downloaded. So we're going to go back to our file explorer. We are going to find the one that says mine ETH, and this is something we also need to talk about. Okay, so like I said, this is something we need to talk about. Your performance is going to be better on cards with over 4 gigabytes of video memory when using typically just the standard mine ETH. However, if you have a card that only has 4 gigs of video memory, you're going to want to play with the mine_ETH_4G batch file. Now, I am working on getting a 4 gig card to test with, and unfortunately the one that I thought I had was actually one of those reference RX 580s that you could flash and get the 8 gig version of. So guess what? It did have 8 gigs of VRAM on that particular card, so I don't actually have a true 4 gigabyte card to test with. So for today, we're just going to be going over the standard basic setup for mining with cards with over 4 gigs, and we will do a how-to later on the rest. You'll want to right-click the batch file and click Edit, and this is where Windows is going to protect your PC. So you'll have to click More Info and click Run Anyway. This is why we spoke about the importance of downloading it from the official GitHub as opposed to other sources, because you are going to have to add an exception to Windows. So we're going to click Run Anyway, and then here is our configuration file. As you can see, we have our set pool, and this is where we input the information from Ethermine. For us today, we're going to be using US1. So you'll go over to the pool, click Control-C, highlight the pool, and do Control-V. Then we'll want to grab the port 4444, Control-C, and put that in the port, and it'll come right after the colon here. Make sure the colon is still there. And then we have our wallet address. Going back to our public wallet address, over here, we're going to highlight it and do Control-C, and then come back over here and do Control-V. Now we have our wallet address and the pool set. We're going to click File and Save. Once we've done that, we can go back to the folder and double-click the batch file to start the miner. Alrighty, so now we can talk about how to read what's going on the miner. So here, basically what we have is we started the DAG on GPU 0. We have a single RX 6800 in here, not overclocked or flashed currently. And then you'll see here that we have found a share and that we have accepted a share. This is when the GPU starts working, and then we will get a report of the speed. The speed is calculated on Ethereum as megahash per second. This number will give you an idea of your potential profit. Now we're at 61 megahash a second. To calculate profit, you can go back to a web browser and use a site called What2Mine. So in the case of this one, we are at 61 megahash. Now you should calculate watts as well as input your cost for kilowatt per hour. But for today, we're just going to calculate what I would call your gross revenue. So we're going to click Calculate and scroll down here, and you can see that a single RX 6800 makes $2.78 a day in revenue. So now that we have the miner running, we know what our projected revenue will be. We will let the miner run for a little bit, and then we will come back and make sure it is actually mining to the pool, and we'll go over how to read the pool. Okie dokie, so let's go over reading the pool. Headed back over to ethermine.org, make sure you go to the Home tab and scroll down to find the option for to search your Ethereum miner address. Go back to the config that you created and right click and copy your wallet address. Go back to the Ethermine web page and paste the address into the search tab and click search. At this point, you will be presented with your dashboard. The dashboard is going to have essentially all of the information that you need to understand to calculate your revenue and actual on-pool revenue and hash rate. Currently, it's only showing 5.2 because we just started mining. Up here, you will see workers active and inactive. So this is a good spot to take a look at if you have a mining rate down or to see if you have a mining rate down. Next, you have your unpaid balance. And the unpaid balance is how much Ethereum is actually on the pool that you have earned. Once you hit your minimum payment threshold, that balance will be paid out to the MetaMask wallet that we talked about earlier. Over here, you have your estimated earnings, which will show you both daily, weekly, and monthly. Not both, but all daily, weekly, and monthly. And you can also convert it to what your earnings would be in BTC conversion and USD. As you can see here, estimated earnings monthly with 5 mega hash is $7. This will change as that number rises. As you can see here, we have a reported hash rate of 60 mega hash a second. Over time, these charts will fill out and you will have an idea of when the miners are not working and working. It will also give you an amount of valid shares, workers, and stale shares. If you have stale shares, you might want to check your overclock. Or if you have, of course, invalid shares, you might want to check your overclock. Now, minimum payout you can change. Scroll back up to the dashboard, click the little down arrow, and you will have your settings tab. Under settings here, you will essentially type in an email address, and then you will type in your IP, and then set your payment threshold. For most people that are hobby mining or just starting out, you will want to set it to 0.05. Now, to find your IP address, you can use basically whatismyip.org or one of those various ones. Clearly, I will not be showing you guys that, even though we are on a VPN. You never know. So maybe my VPN connects to the same IP over and over again, blah, blah, blah. For safety, I will not show you guys what my IP is, but you would want to go to whatismyip.org. Link will be down in the description. You will type your IP into this box, and then you will click submit, and it will change your payment threshold to 0.05. What this means, back on the dashboard, is once your unpaid balance has hit 0.05 ETH, within the next 24 hours, it will pay out to your MetaMask wallet. So for your MetaMask wallet, you can go ahead and pin it to your plugins, and then you will click it, log in, and then you'll have the option to buy, send, or swap. Clearly, you'll want to be sending it out to an exchange or swapping it into another token. What I recommend is swapping it into another token and then using Uniswap to go ahead and add it to liquidity to earn some additional fees. This is not financial advice, it's just what I'm doing. Now, let's talk about actually getting your money out into dirty fiat. Now for fiat, you are going to need to set up something on an exchange. Exchanges that use Ethereum are plentiful. You have options of Coinbase and Binance. One of my favorite, of course, though, is going to be Crypto.com. I'll leave a referral link down in the description below for you guys to check out. If you click it, you get an extra $25 for signing up. I get an extra $25 for signing up, all up front. That's how you do it. Crypto.com will allow you to exchange currencies as well as add it to a card. You can get basically a debit card from them, and you can directly add it into the app and just click the top up button, and it's pretty awesome. I highly recommend it, except for one big caveat, and that's that you don't control your private keys. So it actually holds it in kind of a master wallet situation. I wouldn't recommend keeping a majority of your assets in Crypto.com, or of course even something like Coinbase. Personally, I would feel better with MetaMask, a hardware wallet, or of course, an offline wallet all the way. So hardware wallet options are things like the Ledger and of course Trezor. We can cover those in another video, and let me know in the description below, out of all the videos we've mentioned, which would be most helpful for you. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And as always, I'll see you next Tuesday.
So hopefully in this video, after you've watched it, you will find out which wallet is best for you. Now, before I continue, when I refer to cryptocurrency wallet, I'm also referring to tokens, okay? For the sake of this video, I'm going to use an interchangeable language, so just keep that in mind. So first of all, what is a cryptocurrency wallet? Well, a cryptocurrency wallet is a software program that stores your private and public keys that interacts with various different blockchains that enables users to both receive and send cryptocurrencies and tokens anywhere around the world. That's what it is in a nutshell, okay? An analogy I can give you, it's like having your physical wallet, but in a digitized way online. Same, but a little bit different, okay? But it's kind of like that to keep in mind, okay? And you can keep it in different areas. Now, there are different types of cryptocurrency wallets. The first type is a desktop. So a desktop wallet is downloaded whether it's on your PC or whether it's on your Mac, and you can only access it from one computer, and it offers pretty good security. However, the downfall is you can only use it on your desktop, okay? Now there is a second downfall for that too as well. If you do get a virus, your virus has a potentiality to hack your online wallet, which hackers can now access your private keys. Therefore, they can access your funds vis-a-vis your desktop wallet. So there are some pros and cons. Pro is it's easy, you can download it. Cons are it's quite accessible by hackers to put a Trojan or some type of phishing attempt to get your private keys. As well as keep in mind that a lot of people actually don't back up their wallet. So if your hard drive fries and you've never created a mnemonic for your cryptocurrency wallet on your desktop, well, you really can't do nothing much about it. Okay, so that's one type of wallet, desktop. Second type is an online wallet. So that's a cloud wallet. Now, the pros for a cloud wallet is obviously you can use it anywhere. You can use it on different devices. However, with this easy use, obviously there is a security issue. So the security issue is quite simple. Well, people can hack your passwords easier. They can clone your phone. You have more surface area and more real estate for people to access your private keys, therefore getting access to your cloud online wallet. Next wallet is a mobile wallet. So you download it on your mobile. It can be App Store, Google Play Store, whatever. There are many different mobile wallets, which I'll be getting to in a second. Now the pros are, they're on mobile. You can use it anywhere around the world. Some are quite secure. Some of them have multi-signature accesses. A lot of them have backup features, so you create a mnemonic. Different phrases, some have different lengths of phrases. Pretty much as if you lose your phone, you can actually take those different phrases. I'll give you an example of a mnemonic phrase like apple, cherry, pie, all these different words, these seed words. You can plug them in online or on your desktop and actually get the backup variation of your wallet so you don't lose your crypto funds. And what do you mean by backup? You're not actually backing up your cryptocurrency. You never keep your cryptocurrency on your phone. That's a misconception. What you have is actually the keys. So that mnemonic actually stores your private keys, and that key, just like a key for a door lock, will unlock your funds vis-a-vis on the blockchain. Next is a hardware. So hardware wallets are quite different than online wallets or mobile wallets because A, they're on a physical device such as a USB key or other drive devices. But the upside to these hard wallets or cold storage wallets are security. The reason why you want a cold storage wallet or a hard wallet, interchangeable language over there, is because you want to store your cryptocurrency safely. If you have anything, my recommendation for anybody, if you don't want to risk losing any cryptocurrency, you keep it on a cold storage device. Your number can be different than my number. For me, anything above 10,000, I'm going to put it on a cold storage device. Anything below that, whatever. I like to play around with different cryptos and tokens and have fun with that, so I really don't care if I lose it. So you got to figure out your number. What is your number that you're not willing to lose? As soon as you have that number, put it on a cold storage device. I'll be getting to recommendations, which I personally think are the easiest use to when it comes to cold wallet. And finally, obscured one, which I don't recommend to too many people just because it's easy to lose, is a paper wallet. So you can literally print your private keys on a piece of paper, like this, and you can store your cryptos and tokens on there. Downside, there's not too many downsides except if you lose it. Well, once again, you can have a mnemonic, but if you don't back it up, if you don't do it right, I don't recommend it for most. I actually recommend a hard wallet as opposed to a paper wallet, but you have the option. It's actually pretty cool. Just imagine you have a little paper wallet and you can fold it up and carry around with you $10 million on there. I want to leave that with you. So, a couple of things to keep in mind for cryptocurrency, wallet safety, and keeping it secure. Always back up your wallet. So I'm just telling you this before I actually get into recommendations. So number one, always back up your wallet. Always, no matter what wallet you're using, whether it's an online wallet, mobile wallet, whatever it may be, use a mnemonic, use a seed phrase, back it up. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people lose their phone or lose their passwords or whatever. They've just lost something. They never backed up their wallet and poof, that's it. You can't really do anything about it. Number two, keep your software update like any good software. If you have your mobile or if you have it on desktop, make sure it's up to date. And finally, add extra security. So there are extra security such as two-factor verification if you're doing online stuff. Make sure it's Google authentication as opposed to text message because people can easily clone your phone. So Google Auth is the best safety feature when it comes to two-step verification, okay? And obviously there's multi-signature wallets, which I won't be getting into too much right now, okay? So these are some questions you have to take in consideration when choosing your wallets. And I say wallets as in plural because I highly recommend you diversify all your tokens and cryptos to different storage devices and platforms, okay? Do you need your wallet for everyday purchases? Do you plan to use several currencies or one single currency? Do you require access to your digital wallet from anywhere or just from your house? Take time to assess these questions. These questions will determine which types of wallets and hard wallets you choose. Now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty stuff, the actual recommendations, and I'm going to have pros and cons for both. Now, first one is the Bread wallet. Now, the Bread wallet it's a simple wallet. It's literally made for a child because the user interface is so simple. It's specifically just for Bitcoin, no other currencies. And the pros are it's very good on privacy. It's beginner friendly. Like I'm telling you, when you see it, it's like simple, dead simple. It's open source software. It's free. It's simple. It's clean. However, the cons are no web, no desktop interface, lacks features, and it's a hot wallet. So it has less security and people can access your private keys easier. But if you're looking for something from like day-to-day transaction, maybe keep like $500 in there just for your Bitcoins and something they can use on a day-to-day basis. And you don't want to think about how do I use this wallet? Bread wallet is a great start for beginners. Number two, Mycelium. So this is advanced variation. Right now, currently, it's only for Bitcoin, but they do have plans for multi-currency. Ethereum's next, and I think some tokens, if I may not be mistaken. Now, it is for both Android and iPhone. And what's really good about this is great privacy. It has advanced security, like multi-signature security, where you need multiple touch points to go online. It's open source, it's free. Okay, but the cons, it is no web, it has no desktop interface, it is a hot wallet, and it's not really the best for beginners, okay? So it really does depend on what stage you are in your crypto journey. I've used it sometimes. It's not my go-to wallet, but I like it. I think the user interface is really good. And next we move on to is Jaxx. So Jaxx is another mobile wallet. What's really good about Jaxx is it has different currencies such as Ether, Ether Classic, Dash, the Litecoin, Bitcoin, etc., and many more other ones. What another great feature about this is the user interface. I think Jaxx has one of the best UX designs possible. It's quite instinctive, so when you log in, you exactly know what's going on. You don't have to second guess yourself. It's pretty much, oh, I understand what's going on. So the pros are this: good privacy, security, multi-currency, wallet linking across multiple platforms. So you can have it on your desktop, you can have it on your iPad, and they sync with each other, which is amazing, okay? User-friendly, and like I said, the UX is one of my favorite UX when it comes to wallets. The cons is it's open source, and it can be really, really slow, okay? Those are the cons. Jaxx is my go-to multi-currency wallet on my phone. I use it for the day-to-day transactions and paying people around the world. I like it, I enjoy it. Now, those were three hot wallets I was talking about. I want to talk about two hard wallets, okay? Two of my favorite hard wallets are, number one, Trezor. Trezor is a hardware Bitcoin wallet that is ideal for storing large amounts of Bitcoins. Trezor cannot be infected by malware and never exposes your private keys, which makes it really, really safe. Now, these are the pros for it. Good security, really good security. Privacy, it's cold storage. It has a very easy to use web interface, built-in screens, open source software, and it's beginner friendly. Cost is pretty good. It's around $100, but you must have a device to send Bitcoins. I think it's an awesome device and I recommend it to most people. So that's the first hardware wallet. The second is the Ledger Nano S, which I prefer a little bit more just because I'm biased and I prefer more because I like the experience more. I think the technology between the Ledger and the Trezor is pretty much the same, but I prefer the experience of the Ledger as opposed to the Trezor. So the Ledger it has amazing feel to it. It's multi-currency support. It has third-party apps that you can remove from the device. It has UTF support, and it's quite cheap, tell you the truth. It's only about 65 US compared to the other hard wallets. The cons are this: not as advanced as the other hard wallet, no ability to create hidden accounts, and no password manager. However, if you're looking for an easy-to-use hard wallet that looks good, that has the easiest onboarding process possible. I mean, you put the wallet in your USB. It comes with one small booklet that you open up. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, anyone can get it. I can give that to my mom, I can give that to my sister, I can give that to my neighbor, and they'll understand how to use it. That's what I like about it. It has amazing backup security, so even if you lose a hard key or somehow magnetically it gets demagnetized or whatever it may be, you have that phrase, the words, that you can back up your Bitcoins, Ether, and multi-currencies that you have on there. So that's my preferred choice when it comes to the hardware wallet, okay? So that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to leave you with this thought. I never ever recommend keeping any Bitcoins on exchange or any cryptocurrencies or tokens on exchange. Exchanges are to exchange, to go in and buy and then leave. Just keep that in mind. It's not a wallet. It's not a bank. It's there for you to have a transaction to purchase and a transaction to exit that purchase. Never keep your money on other people's platform. When people talk about, oh, I remember when Bitcoin got hacked, Mt. Gox, that was an exchange. That was where people kept their Bitcoin. Bitcoin never got hacked. Mt. Gox got hacked. So always have safety first. Keep your cryptocurrency safe. Buy them, take them out, put them on a hard wallet, the ones you want to store for long-term use, and the ones you want to use on a daily basis, maybe trade a little bit, or pay your employees, or buy your food, or pay your plane ticket. Keep it on a nice mobile wallet. You know, I always tell people, if I carry $200 on me, I don't care if I lose it. That's my cost of living on a day-to-day basis. So there you have it. Those are my recommendations. I have some links below. So there's a link for the Ledger below. There's a link for the exchanges I like from below. And if you have any questions for me, leave a comment below. I'm actually curious to know what your favorite wallets are. Hard wallets, maybe I missed some. I'll make a second video or like a part 2 video for this. And catch you tomorrow. Peace.